Yeah, buddies. It's the Bennington Show. Rockaway Beach starts off our pre-4th of July weekend. Firecracker weekend, we'll be counting down all 500 hits.
Get ready to flip some burgers. It's the 4th of July weekend.
That's Gail's, classic rock girl.
It's my classic rock girl, but there's some alt-rock girls who did it.
Is that right?
I remember there was one in Daytona I used to listen to, Sam I Am. And she had that really great gravelly.
Yeah, she was really tiny. She was great. But sexy sex talk.
It's like a rock block.
Rock block rhymes with cock. This is a little gravelly thing that no one knows why men dig a girl with a little bit of a gravelly voice, but Demi Moore had that when she was younger. Deborah Winger. I don't know who would be the gravelly voice girl today. Gravelly voice.
J-Law. No, not J-Law. It's the other one. Scarlett Johansson has like
Scarlett Johansson is a good one. And J-Law, there's a little bit there, I think.
Does she?
A little bit of the gravel. Hey, this is the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I'm Ron Bennington. The news is exploding around us. Supreme Court just gave a big decision today, telling Texas to stop fucking around with abortion clinics and making up all these rules. It was one of those things. I love any kind of thing that makes one side really clap and the other side pissed off. And that is America now. Half the people are ecstatic about something. The other half are just, the world's ending.
And I think this could push them closer to Texas.
Texas would be a good idea. Texas would then be a country. They would be able to run themselves the way they want. And the rest of us, 49 states, could become the no guns, weed, gay marriage, abortion house. That would be the name of it. We would drop the United States name. That's big news. Big news last night. Lionel Messi, the little great one, quit soccer. He's done with international soccer because he just can't win. And he can't put up with it anymore.
He tries.
But apparently, from what I'm told, the Argentinian press treats him like a terrorist. They just slam him every day. He doesn't even live there, hasn't lived there since he was a little boy. He doesn't give a fuck anymore. He's too rich to take shit off you South Americans.
And they have always been that way. They've been really rough on him. They resent him so much.
Yeah, and he gets paid big bucks in Barcelona to choke there. So why would he give a shit about a country that the only reason that he ever visits is to play football for? Mm-hmm. But you look like a pussy, dude. You look like a pussy. Stay and win. Look, this is what happens in all sports world. The day before LeBron wins this last championship, he's a bum, he's a choker, he's shit, he's done this time and time again. He wins it, and suddenly they say, he's probably better than Jordan. You just can't listen to people who don't play the sport. If you play the sport, you're the one who knows.
Like sports and politics both is just like far too reactionary. Like,
everything is. Read anything on the internet. Most of us, like if I get an email from somebody who'll say something they want done with the show, I just think, what a cute idea, dummy. And then I go on with my life. That's it. They don't do this. That's what everyone should think in their job, no matter who they are. A chef should say to people, you don't do this. You don't know what fucking good is. I'm going to give you the good. Cops should be like, when people complain about, you don't do this. You don't even know what this is. You think about it a couple times a year. People just say that constantly. You don't do this. Because really, there's very little that we can understand about most jobs until we do it. You could look from the outside and go, wow, what could be easier than throwing a football? How could you miss that fucking pass? You can't throw a fucking pass to your nephew this far, let alone when there's a giant rush coming your way. And goddamn world-class athletes looking to slap the ball away 20 yards from here. You don't do it. Now, over the weekend, watching some of the Olympic trials, talk about fucking... I'm watching gymnastics, I'm watching swimming, I'm watching diving. These things are impossible, what we're seeing. These are like video games being played out in front of you. Sometimes, some of these unbelievable athletes are like 15 years old. But I have picked the star of the Olympics. Lock this in. Madison Avenue. Start booking her now. It is Cassidy Cook. Cassidy Cook is going to steal America's hearts. She's got a smile. She rocks out before, she's got headphones on and she's singing and dancing around. And then she's cute as shit. All she's got to do is medal. And you should have her sell all your bathing suits, toothpaste. She's going to be the face of the McDonald's campaign, I'm sure. Yes, she's just biting a hamburger next to some other cute kid and everybody's happy. This is how I made it to the Olympics. This helps me dive. It's fries. But she's adorable. And Gail from Plantation, Florida. Oh. Your old neighborhood when we lived in South Florida. So she's going to be gigantic. There's going to be nobody stopping her. Matter of fact, the CIA should go out and shoot any of the Asian people who, normally dive better than us. I don't even think that we've ever had in the past a famous women's diver where everybody knows their name. We've done it with men, but I don't think we've had the woman that everybody knows the way we know Greg Louganis. Yeah, I don't think that we've had that big star. Like every 4 years, it seems to be whatever it is we're really excelling at, that's what we become really into. Yes. So if we have a great gymnastics team, we're like, that's us. Yeah. U.S. We've always been about gymnastics. It is true. There was a time that we got behind ice skating because of one dude. I think Eric Hayden was his name. And nobody paid attention to speed skating. He wins a bucket full of medals, and everybody's talking about him, and mothers are dropping off their kids at their speed skating fucking lessons. We never cared about chess until we beat the Russians. When we won in hockey that year, everybody acted like they cared about amateur hockey. It's what we do's and the way we do's it. We like to be number one. We don't care in what. United States of America. It's been brought to my attention we didn't play Who Picked the Song today. I thought we'd grown out of it. Maybe we haven't. I'm going to start Vito.
Gail Bennington.
Let's go Joey Jojo.
Ron Bennington.
See, I think they just tried to make a rubber match here.
It doesn't have to be a rubber match every time. It's Gail Bennington. I know it for a fact.
You just heard me say these are going to be the songs that play to it.
You just said that.
Joey listens, you don't. That's the thing. Joey listens.
I thought it was a trick.
Oh, why would that be a trick?
Every time he thinks there's trickery involved.
Yeah, so why don't you now think that there's a post trick? But if you guys don't start and get this, I
don't think they've got it once. No, I don't think the majority has ever got it once.
Because they don't pay attention to what we say at the show. Who's the Ramones guy? Who's the Rockaway Beach guy? Ronnie Beach. Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah. Always out Rockaway Beach. That's my thing.
I know you love the Rockaways. I know.
Far Rockaway is probably my far favorite. And then I come in further and further. It gets less and less happy with
yeah. The close Rockaways, not so good.
Far Rockaway is my favorite name of anything ever. Far. Because if you live there, you can't say I'm far. I'm here is where you are. So they have to say we're in Far Rockaway. That's where we are right now. We're far away right now.
There's nothing around here.
Hey, Charlie, what's up?
Ronnie B, is Chris Stanley okay? Game of Thrones, season finale ended last night. Is he all right?
Did you watch it, Chris?
Oh, I watched it 3 times last night.
Should I say spoiler alert to the people?
Yeah, spoiler alert.
All right, spoiler alert. Within a couple seconds, Chris Stanley is going to give his review of the finale of the Game of Thrones. And it won't be back for 6 years?
No, just 1 year. 1 year is when it comes back.
1 year is not a just, dude. It's incredibly so long.
I'm really depressed about it.
Silicon Valley ended last night, and I'm like, 10 episodes. This is what you give me every year.
That's it.
My favorite show. 10 episodes.
It's not enough.
That's crazy. All right. So, spoiler alert, Chris Stanley is going to review, which always means gives away plot details.
Yes, of course.
Of Tits and Dragons.
Beyond a shadow of a doubt, the best episode of the entire series. Out of all 6 years, this was the best episode they've ever made.
All right, thank you. What a review.
These last 2 episodes have been like everything you've been waiting for. Like, so a lot of plot is like coming to culmination, like all these different storylines. So everyone's freaking out right now.
Why are they freaking out? Is something bad? Something good?
Something good, because the Dragon Queen, Daenerys Stormborn of the House Targaryen, she's been on another continent for pretty much for the entire series. Now.
Why?
Because her house Targaryen was slaughtered by the Baratheons and the Starks, so they were forced to flee to Essos. So she's been a queen, not in her own land. So now she has gotten the Greyjoys and the Dothraki and the Second Sons to go back to Westeros to take the Iron Throne.
Now, those are all dragons?
No, those are just other houses.
I got news for you. I realize I'm not smart enough to watch Game of Thrones. This sounds like some fucking test in junior high school I didn't want to take.
To me, that was like the 3rd best, or maybe even 4th best plot point that happened the entire
Why are you
episode.
on the 4th best plot point?
This is what everyone's been waiting for, her to get her ass to Westeros.
That's it?
I mean, that was the biggest thing, because
what else?
Okay, also, Queen Cersei of House Lannister, she has basically made herself queen of the 7 kingdoms, because she killed everyone else.
Okay.
Like a third of the cast got wiped out last night.
Wow.
Yeah, it was there were major deaths.
And you guys are happy about all the deaths? And you won't see these?
Oh, no, Marjorie Tyrell died.
You said it was great. Marjorie Tyrell's dead?
Marjorie Tyrell's dead. She's amazing. Queen of Roses. It's dude.
What is this, a card deck? What the fuck is happening on this show?
Don't even worry about her. The Tyrell family's wiped out. All the male heirs are done. It's over. Wipe those jerk-offs off the goddamn map.
Oh, they're jerk-offs? You don't like them?
I don't really like them, no.
I've always kind of liked them.
Oh, so there's no good guys and bad guys?
No, most people have, they're complex characters, and most people are kind of shit. Or like have.
What happened to Puff and Stuff? Is he still running his kingdom?
Puff and Stuff is not part of the
Puff and Stuff is on his way to Westeros right now.
Is Witchy Poo involved in this at all?
Witchy Poo's been sent away.
Melisandre, the Red Witch, she's been sent away from the north down to the south.
This is a song by a Red Witch.
Oh, and then one of the biggest reveals last night was the confirmation of a fan theory that's been going on for years, which is the true parentage of Jon Snow, the bastard of Winterfell.
Is his father a wolf?
No, actually, a Targaryen. Rhaegar Targaryen.
A Targaryen.
Yeah.
So the Targaryen clan still lives.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
You're correct.
Yeah. Here we thought we wiped them out.
Yeah.
No. There's still one Targaryen left.
It's fucking huge.
Now, how did he find out? Was it his dad that he didn't know?
He thought his father was Ned Stark of House Stark, but in actuality, Ned lied, and Jon Snow is the son of Ned Stark's sister, Lyanna Stark, and Rhaegar Targaryen.
So, in short, he thought his dad is the person whose dad is actually his uncle.
Now, here's my fan theory. He's the 7th bastard son of a 7th bastard son. That's why his fucking magic reigns supreme. Now, he's the one that came back from the dead, right?
Yes, Jon Snow.
Now, did he say what he saw on the other side?
He said nothing. He said there was nothing. And there's another character, Beric Dondarrion.
I had a friend like that. I had a friend who died and came back, and I said, "What did you see?" And he goes, "Oh, it's just total blackness."
Oh, boy.
Yeah. He says, it just...
Lie to me.
Yeah, that's how I felt. 3 nights I couldn't sleep. Because, I'm always ready to hear, oh, my grandpa was there, and there was all kinds of love. So all the Targaryens but one are dead, and the Red Witch
Melisandre.
Yeah.
Well, really, 2, because that would make...
Yeah, Daenerys Targaryen is alive, and Jon Stark, it's been confirmed, is half Targaryen. Daenerys is his aunt.
Now, did you guys see the thing up on the iBang that fucking Jon Snow, your fucking warrior hero, has a rubber sword that was flopping around? And you guys have the balls to sit around and say how badass it is? They don't even use a metal fucking sword.
He's just an actor. He's not
I know,
really
but actors use metal swords.
I mean, that's supposed to be a Valerian steel sword.
Yeah.
And then see that thing flop around.
That's fucking spaghetti is what it is.
I mean, Jesus Christ, just give him the real sword.
I guess he can't be trusted with it.
Jon Snow is very upset about the Brexit. I saw there was a clip of him meeting a bunch of fans outside, and he's just like, not good.
Not
very
happy with
upset.
it.
He's very freaked
Jon
out.
Snow reminds me of the guy from Mad Men that everybody kept talking about.
Don Draper.
Except for the people who saw it, who never saw it. Like Don Draper got huge, and I never watched the show. And now that's how I feel about this Jon Snow. It's like everybody talks about him, and I just see him like as a regular dude.
I don't know if the guys like him as much as they liked Draper, because I always hear guys complaining like, this pretty boy. But I know the ladies love Jon Snow.
Yeah.
It's all the women.
You don't like Jon Snow?
To be totally honest, Jon Snow's a bit whiny.
Okay.
Comes off.
All right, good to know.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. He's, the fucking chosen one.
So how crushed are you that this sits now for 2 years?
I'm depressed because now I got nothing, and there's not even there's no books coming out, and it's really shitty.
Well, the book won't be released within this year.
The guy doesn't write. He fucking sits there. He does coke and pays fucking girls to sit on trampolines.
Ron's calling it right now.
Thank
it's
you.
fucking true.
Thank you.
George R. Martin don't write shit.
I'm sure people who write...
He hangs out at Comic-Cons and fucking Renaissance fairs and then writes about it on his live journal blog, and that's it. He doesn't put out any new chapters.
Can I get a link to that?
I can't believe he still uses an LJ.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird.
He actually uses a live journal.
But I think between these last 2 episodes, I would say they would be like top rankers in best episodes of any television series ever. They've got to be like within the top 5, top 10. It's insane.
What are you talking about?
Like, I think that these last 2 episodes were so good.
You're now comparing them to actual shows that adults would watch?
Yeah, I would say.
Well, then why don't you throw the Flintstones in there? It's fucking ridiculous. I had it on for 2 seconds last night, and I was cracking up because I knew I would hear this shit today. Queen Elizabeth. Game of Thrones talk. Yeah.
Ron, Gail,
yeah.
hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Pepper, a Stark never slaughtered a Targaryen.
Come on, Chris. You know what?
Okay, hold on. Let me just explain.
The Lannisters did.
Let me explain
and
that.
the Baratheons.
Now I get it.
The
I gotta start
Baratheons
watching this show.
and the Starks were in an alliance, and they fought against the Targaryens.
Yeah. And Robert Baratheon slaughtered Rhaegar Targaryen.
And so you're saying a Stark never killed a Targaryen?
No.
You're nuts.
No.
Can I just say
and
something?
guess what?
No.
Jon Snow's parentage wasn't a fan theory because George Martin said, if you can't figure out who Jon Snow's mother and father are, you're an idiot because I made it pretty obvious.
Wow.
It wasn't a theory.
There wasn't.
And you had to get it from another fan.
Okay, the fans came up with it and they put the goddamn theory out. So that becomes a fan theory.
Told him, who do you think it is?
How does a theory happen unless you read the books and then come up with it yourself?
Oh, well, look at me gathering knowledge.
Oh, shit.
I know so much more than you have been about Game of Thrones.
No, I read the books, I've watched the series, and I know that I can compare the differences, but it was like I read the first book and watched the first series, and I knew immediately who Jon Snow's parents were.
Okay, congratulations.
All right, let me ask you guys this. Does this ever come up? Where do they shit? Who gets the food for them?
I've seen their, like, bedpans and stuff.
You know what I don't get? They have dragons. They have all this mystical, dragon glass sword. But they don't have, like, indoor toilets or anything like that.
I know. That's a fan theory for you. Maybe they should stop fucking slaughtering each other, start understanding farming.
Yeah, I know, right?
Plumbing.
All they care about is that Iron Throne.
And Tyrells are not out of the game yet.
All right, let me ask you then, Chris. What happens with if you get the Iron Throne? What happens?
You
go crazy.
You become Lord of Westeros in the Seven Kingdoms.
No, the chair's cursed. You go crazy.
Okay, so that makes more sense. But so there's power to the throne?
No, I mean just political power. You become
But
king.
why would anybody listen? They're slaughtering each other anyway. So you're not really in charge of shit.
Well, the big thing is now the North wants to break off. So now there's a king in the North.
That's the exact opposite of our country.
No, they have broken off.
Oh, they have. So Chris is confused about that.
No.
Yeah, like 3 seasons ago.
No, they tried to.
Oh my God!
They were
This is
they
why
were
I
shut
can't
down.
understand the show, Chris,
They were
because of you.
shut down by the Lannisters. Remember the Red Wedding? That kind of ended the fucking revolt of the North.
That they broke off, and that's why the Red Wedding happened. That's why the Lannisters.
And then the Lannisters allied with the Boltons and
All
fucking
All right,
took
kids,
Winterfell.
Daddy's got to find a parking spot, so be quiet for 5 minutes. This is literally what it sounds like.
Her arguments
like
are
you should be,
nonsensical.
like the father who's driving should be trying to punch in the back seat as he's steering
love
the
Chris,
car.
Though he's so funny, so enthusiastic about tits and dragons.
I know. It sounds like something 2 kids are playing
But
in
it's
their
like
garage.
it's like if I had my 6-year-old daughter call up and explain, oh, well, then this one had a dragon, and then they ran over and they killed those people, like, you know. But even she knows who Jon Snow's parents are. So.
Oh, that's great. Did you tell her that? Was she on any of the boards?
Thank you, Queen.
All right, Ronnie.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Queen.
I didn't know you were going to shit the bed like that, dude. You got to represent us when you start to. You can't make this many mistakes. 2 episodes in the history of the planet Earth.
It was a fantastic episode.
It was really fantastic.
You realize that Patty Chayefsky has written TV before you get into this.
I didn't say it was the best ever. I just think they're like top ranking, like within like the best of all time.
Yes, that's the best.
Well,
That's
I
what you
stand
give-
by it. The last 2 episodes were insane.
Well, you've convinced me. So there it is. Tits and Dragons gone for 365.
Yep, 52 weeks. 52 long.
But is that how many weeks they have on their planet?
I'm not sure, to be totally honest. They never really say, like, days.
Is there any part of their planet that has a beach?
Dorne is like a desert. There's beaches there. That's
A
in the
desert
south.
isn't a fucking beach, dude.
There's some sand and there's some water.
That doesn't make it a beach.
But no one's ever going on vacation to some, like, nice fucking beach.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone like in a bathing suit.
No.
Like, I don't think that they do it for leisure.
They're too busy just trying not to die.
Well, if you lit up the phones with this. People love talking about this show. You're excited. That's good. I'm glad you have it. Rewatch all the episodes, and you have those little dolls that you can play with, right?
Yeah, the Game of Thrones action figures, yes.
Mm-hmm. Dolls. So you can sit and play who you want to win against each other. Off you go to the races. Bunch of stuff up on the iBang. I'm going to let comic book guy from The Simpsons just relax for a couple minutes now.
Thank you.
Best episode ever.
That was me who said that.
Well, the guy who smelled his balls now smells his armpits, and oddly makes it even slightly more disgusting. This is the German coach who puts his fingers in his pits.
He never stops. And this
is a mental problem, right? This is a mental disorder.
This has got to be a disorder of sorts. Because you remember he was doing this shit back with like a few years ago, and he was also, remember, he got caught picking his nose,
eating it.
There's something legitimately wrong with this guy. And last week he smelled his balls, now he's smelling his pits.
And I think he would be considered like a catch. He makes good money. He's a pretty good looking guy.
Nice head of hair.
Yeah, nice thick head of hair. And yet he can't keep himself from rubbing himself and sniffing. I mean, put on a fucking pair of gloves or handcuff yourself during a game. They say now the cameras follow him constantly.
What kind of information is he trying to pick up here? Like, he's like a dog catching a scent, but what is it that he wants to know?
It soothes him. It makes him feel better. The smell of his own body.
Like Superstar.
Yeah, that's exactly. She was able to chill a little bit. It was slightly orgasmic for her. And it will help settle her down. Until he goes into that rat hole of his and comes out with a speck and starts sniffing it, I think the Germans are going to keep him. But don't you think that somebody somewhere in that organization has to say, you can't represent us like this? England's already dropped out of the EU, and now you're fucking sniffing around in your pits and nuts.
This could be the problem.
He's fucking horrific. There is so much hideousness that came up over the weekend. And Stanley got obsessed with this. And that's the shit rolling through a movie theater?
Oh yeah, the creepy sewage picture. Really, really, actually just scary looking.
So this is sewage in the movie theater?
Yeah. This was in the movie theater. This is what it looked like. I mean, it's just horrifying looking.
That's disgusting.
It's just pure black. Looks like it's shining.
Is that?
It's reverse shining.
Yeah.
Because, like, the carpet's red and the shit is black. Well, it's got to be a chemical mixed in there as well, right?
Yeah, it's not. It's just sewage.
But imagine what that rank smell. You're sitting there and you're like, this movie stinks. But wait, how could it physically stink?
They should just burn that movie theater down. There's no coming back from this.
No, I agree with you. You fucking and kill all the employees.
And this water is so black, it's like devoid of color. Like there's nothing.
Yes,
like it's
it
the absence of light.
Yeah, it sucks color into it.
Ugh.
Here's John in Philly.
Hey.
Yeah.
How are you guys?
Good.
Listen, I hate to steal you, take you away from your
that's okay.
shit-stained movie theater, but I have got someone's got to explain to me what's the problem between a Targaryen and a Snow and a Stark. I have no clue, and I've watched all 6 seasons of Game of Thrones, and I'm so fucking lost. I don't know what is the significance of Ned Stark being Jon Snow's uncle. And
he's saying, why would anybody care about this? What's
it mean?
Right, so a bastard in the North will have the last name Snow, Jon Snow. But people care about who Jon Snow's parents are because he's part Targaryen, which means he's the last of that race.
What does that mean?
Well, they could say that he could have a right to the throne
for
that reason, because it comes from his lineage. That's
the
why.
Iron Throne. That's the Iron Cersei's one.
Yes, the Iron Throne.
And so Khaleesi is Jon Snow's aunt?
Yes, correct.
Oh, I thought it was his sister.
No.
Wow. All right, now I get it. Okay.
Now he's fucked up by it.
Yeah.
But why doesn't anybody say they have a right to it and just have a rebel army? When you have chaos, you can't sit around and talk about the order of the throne.
Well, one of the characters in the show, Littlefinger, is banking on chaos, and he's trying to take the throne.
See, there you go.
So is that why he's planting the seed with Sansa? Because she should be the rightful...
You got it.
Exactly.
Now, is Littlefinger... Did he find out that his father is Little Feet?
No.
The 70s funk band? It would make perfect sense. Matt, what's up, buddy? Matt, we got you?
Hey, I was just calling. It was an interesting coincidence. You were talking about the German soccer coach sniffing his armpit. I was literally putting my hand in my armpit as he started talking about it, and just to make sure everything was okay. I feel like it's a natural human thing. You want to make sure that everything is...
First of all, he's on a fucking pitch, right? Everyone around him has been sweating and stinks.
Sure.
And even if you don't, you're with a group of men, and no one cares who stinks and who doesn't. So it's not like he's going into his prom. There's nothing to worry about with odor. He's fine. What this fucking guy has is some kind of OCD. And I hate to say it, but those people need to be dragged into the streets and shot so that we can rid the planet of this. I don't want to see people just lining stuff up all the time. Drives me nuts.
It's mental illness.
But even him saying... I just want to make sure everything's okay. Like, what are you going to smell that you're like, uh-oh, I better get myself to a doctor?
He's not going anywhere. He's not. He does. You know what? He's probably caked in fucking deodorant, and it doesn't matter to him. At some point, maybe when he was 5, somebody called him stinky, and now he can't relax for 2 fucking minutes.
He's rubbing he's rubbing his lip with the stink hand to keep the smell there.
I'm telling you, he's doing it for sexual reasons. This is no different than if he fucking slapped his Johnson in front of everybody and say, I'm the king of pee-pee.
He's turned on by his own chemicals.
Thank you.
He likes his own pheromones.
Yes, that's what he's after right now. And you're the fucking soccer coach of Nazi Germany. You got to keep your shit together. You're running Nazi Germany right now in a time where everybody's looking to the EU. which, again, I'm going to point this out to Fox, CNN, and MSNBC. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit what those people do over there with their money. That's their business. Why should we be sitting around worrying about it? They had a vote. The vote went through, and now they're saying maybe we should have never voted. You guys fucking voted.
I love all the people who come forward like, yeah, I voted, but I didn't think it was going to happen. Well, why did you vote?
Why did you vote? Or other people saying I didn't vote because I didn't think it was going to happen.
No way.
And that's what happens with the vote. This is my worst fucking favorite thing. No one can make up their mind. Like you're fucking driving in a car somewhere. Should we get Italian? Should we get chicken? We finally settle on Italian. And as you point in, or we could get chicken. Someone's still saying it. Say, well, we're fucking here.
No, we can't get chicken.
We could have gotten chicken, but now we're at the Italian place.
Oh,
Guess what? This isn't a last meal. Okay? This is the problem with doing stuff, right? Obviously, the planet is going to be for globalization. It's been happening your entire lifetime. The reason why but, and I'll give you the Google car thing. We're going to go to self-driving cars. But it doesn't mean it's going to be easy getting there, right?
Yeah.
No one says we're heading in that direction and all the good things are going to happen tomorrow. So life is going to be great. Yes, change is fucking difficult and terrible. And it's also a constant thing. You think just because something was some way when you were fucking 8, it doesn't mean that your uncle wasn't bitching that life sucked then because they changed it to that. So everyone knows good, but when I was a kid, everything was so much better. It's because you were a kid. You were so fucking stupid. Nobody let you in on what was going down.
And everything was new and normal to you.
Everything was normal.
Yeah. So everything that was presented to you is like, this is what life is like.
No.
So later when that thing changes, you're like, this isn't what life is like. I was told it was different.
Right. When I was a little kid, my grandparents were freaking out by, coloreds using a water fountain or whatever. And they thought the world would never get used to that. And now people would go, what? What were they thinking back then? Were they morons?
They must have been crazy.
I'm sorry, you're black. You'll have to go up into the balcony for the movie show. You can't be on the first floor. People accepted things like that because they were happening. That's all. It wasn't like some freaky thing where they said, look, we're going to have a vote tomorrow. Black people have to sit in the balcony. As soon as we did, do you notice there's not balconies anymore? And like my dad said to me, I always wanted to go up in the balcony. Never got to.
Oh.
It seemed like it was great up there. Now that's who we feel sorry for.
You never had a chance.
Mel in Maryland. Mel.
Yeah, hi. Remember last night after Cersei blew up the sept with the wildfire?
Stop doing an impression of Queen Elizabeth. You don't sound like her. Yeah, go ahead. So what happened?
Yeah, after she had blew up the sept of the temple, she had saved herself the female priestess who had tormented her for a couple of episodes back. Remember that scene?
Shame.
Yes, I remember that scene.
Yeah, well, I saw that she was wine-boarding the female priestess, but what was she planning with the mountain? What was she expecting him to do?
It's a rape, what was going down. That's what's happening, dude.
She's now her prisoner. She's in for a bit of a raping, as she would say.
Is that going to be long-term? Because Cersei said, you're not going to die today, but maybe somewhere down the line you might die.
I'm guessing, yes, it's long-term. I'm not writing it, so I don't know, but I'm going to guess it's long-term.
I don't think that they're going to show a terrible amount of it. I think it's just an assumed rape.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, because it's kind of bone-chilling.
Yeah, it's a giant zombie man hurting a woman.
You don't think maybe in the next season there might be an offspring?
I don't know. I don't think there'll be a zombie baby.
No. All right, that's all I wanted to ask.
Why'd you get so aggravated with someone who finally wanted to discuss the show with you? Or did you realize how stupid it sounds as he was talking?
Well, I thought it was very obvious that it was an implied raping.
But it wasn't to him. This is why fans talk about the episodes.
I didn't realize that.
We haven't had this happen in a long time.
No.
What happened? Stick?
No. I was just very surprised about that guy's question because I thought that the mountain was going to, what he was going to do to her was very, anyone could see that coming.
All right. So anyway, that's Tits and Dragons. Done for the year.
It's over.
Vito, you don't watch this show?
No, I don't watch Game of Thrones. I watched Silicon Valley after, though.
I watched that, too.
That was a good episode.
You know what? I'm going to say that those episodes, the last two, I'm going to put them up there with the finest episodes of all time.
The last two, Silicon Valley?
Yes, they're all in everything that just happened is the best of all time. We're living in an unbelievable age where everything just keeps being the best.
Well, it's definitely the best TV time. I mean, it's just getting, I think that's pretty clear.
I guarantee you that you will look back at this a couple years from now and go, man, why did we think TV was good then? You know, the people in the 70s thought they lived in the best fucking TV time ever. So did the people of the 80s. Talking Crest, I can't believe it. And it only takes you a couple years ago. Why did we watch that shit? TV are old girlfriends. You just act like they're better or worse than they ever were.
I always thought Oz was an amazing show. And I went back and watched. I was showing it to someone.
Yeah.
I was like, this is pretty silly.
And then remember how you would scream at the time, you're not watching Oz? It's one of the best shows of all time. You go back and even watch The Sopranos. First episode, great. The rest of the episodes struggle. Yet everybody sits around and screams that it was the best of all time. John in Miami. John.
Hey, Chris, what was the deal with the dermatologist?
What dermatologist?
The guy with all the face peels.
Oh, you mean the grayscale guy?
Yeah, what was that all about?
He had grayscale, which is a disease in Westeros which turns your...
No. The guy that was peeling all the faces off all the characters.
Oh, Jock and Hagar, the Faceless Men. Yeah, no, he trained Arya Stark how to assassinate people.
But why?
Because he's a part of an assassin's guild?
But where does that play into what?
Well, you saw it last night when she went and killed Walder Frey.
No,
Why are you aggravated? Why won't you just talk to the man? Exchange ideas.
She finally got her vengeance because she was able to be trained. That's the idea. And now she uses this thing that he taught her, this ability to change her face, is she's going to use that as she goes through on her list of everybody who's wronged her family.
But what was the deal with keeping all those faces on a wall?
So she uses them as disguise.
Yeah, but they never actually leave the wall. They're like in that little dungeon.
She sells them the Mission Impossible fucking series. And Tom Cruise uses them. If you're looking for some kind of logic, you're not going to have dragons and shit.
It's a fantasy world.
It means you can make up anything you want at any time. Somebody could just say, you see this fucking Frisbee? It kills dragons. And everybody will then be forced to believe them. Steven in Mississippi.
Hey, how's it going? Love the show.
It is great.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about maybe what's going to happen next season in Game of Thrones. And I think that Jaime Lannister is going to end up killing Cersei.
Definitely, that's going to happen.
It's quite possible. He's already killed one king.
That's what I was thinking. And he did it, and he told that big girl knight, can't remember her name, from the Sapphire Island.
Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah. He told her that, the other king the Mad King was going to blow up the town with wildfire, and that's actually what Cersei did. So when he was staring at her, I thought for sure that that's what's going to happen next year.
Yeah, I think that's what they were trying to imply, that Jaime's going to end up killing her because she's now mad with power.
Okay, well, cool. Well, love the show, and just wanted to share my idea about it.
It's fantastic. This is the Got podcast. All we talk about is the Game of Thrones.
Got.
We do a little Game of Thrones talk. We'll be off for the next year. This is it for us. Vito, you're a guy who likes wrestling, but you don't like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I never got into it. I tried to watch the first episode, and there was like these dead babies hanging from a tree, and it just freaked me out. So I stopped
first of
watching
all, I saw that episode. Those were peaches. So you got to stop fucking panicking.
At night, when the lights are out, he gets scared. So he's liable to think anything.
Well, it is scary. He does live in the Upper West Side. He lives in West Side Story, is basically where he grew up.
I do, and fun fact, my dad's name is on the wall in the credits in the end of that movie.
First of all, that's not just a fun fact. That's a why have you kept us? And let's try to guess what he did. I'm going to go with caterer. Chris?
Best boy.
But that you don't just do that once. You know what I mean? That's not a one-time only gig. That's a skill that you go on and work other places. Why do you think he's in the credits?
PA locations.
I even think it's kind of a thanks to because he and his thug friends kept the streets a little safer. What was it for?
No, you actually all misunderstood me. There's a wall that the credits are on top of in the end of the movie. And he just happened to sign his name on that wall.
Well, that's fucking way cooler than have anything to do. So he had tagged a wall.
Yeah.
An early 60s tagging. And when they put the credits there, you could read his name.
Man, none of us guessed graffiti artist.
You could just read his nickname on there. Him and I believe my uncles, both.
What was his nickname?
Crazy Legs?
I forgot. I got to ask my mom, but she just likes to bring it up to me all the time.
All right. Well, now I got to fucking watch that movie and look for the wall. But you never went back and saw it yourself?
I saw it when I was a little kid. Not since then.
I hope it's Crazy Legs.
It's your only memory of your dad. He once tagged a wall.
One of the few.
Sure. All right. This is the Bennington Show on a Monday. This is the last week before the big 4th of July. And I just saw this up on the Fox News scroll when I was sitting outside. 43 million people are going to be traveling this weekend. 43 million people on the road, the rails, and in the sky.
I feel like this is the most local or like the most close by travel 4th of July. Like I think a lot of people do drivable trips as opposed to like flying somewhere.
You're right. This is the beach, the mountains, the lake. I don't know where else anyone does for that's kind of local vacations. I don't know whether you would go anywhere besides those three places.
I think those three are like the top tier of where you would want to spend.
I like 4th of July as a holiday weekend, though, because nobody's feelings are hurt if you're not with them for 4th of July. There are other holidays where they're like, we need to get together because we got together before. But no one acts like I had the worst 4th of July ever. I mean, even if you're 4th of July by yourself, you don't feel like a loser.
Yeah.
Like some people feel on Valentine's Day,
or New Year's,
Thanksgiving, New Year's. There's 4 awful fucking holidays that you have to meet a criteria to be a person in society.
There's also no gift giving, which I think makes it a good holiday. It's a fun holiday that involves very little spending money if you want. You can spend very little money on 4th of July.
Fireworks, some people like to have their own fireworks. You're basically grilling or eating a picnic. You would like to have a pool, lake, river, or ocean, but let's face it, you don't really need that if you got a fucking keg.
Yeah. You have a backyard and some sparklers.
But, like the thing is, you're supposed to drink, but you're not supposed to get hammered like New Year's Eve. You're supposed to eat, but you're not supposed to get stuffed like Thanksgiving. There are people that feel like if they're not almost puking, they've had a terrible Thanksgiving.
In fact, 4th of July, I think that's one where you want to go the distance, so you don't want to overdo it. Like you want to go out early, spend the whole day in the sun, be able to like hang long enough to watch the fireworks. You don't want to be like hammered drunk and pass out before the fireworks.
But also, even when you said those things, I don't necessarily feel that way. I could be watching a ball game, I could be taking a nap, and I feel like I'm having a 4th. You know, I'm having a 4th. There could be a parade, could not be a parade. There could be a picnic, doesn't have to be one. Could have a grill, don't need it.
You can do indoor barbecue.
I could do anything I want. That's the beauty of 4th of July. Now, the downside, more shark attacks than any other time of the year. This is a Sharknado season. They set up Shark Week at the beginning of the summer because of the Kittner kid.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers that.
On the 4th of July.
Yeah. Our season starts here. I remember when I was a kid, I would think 4th of July was halfway through the summer. I'd feel like, holy shit, it's 4th of July already. You know, because the whole thought of going back to school was just this awful, distant thing. And 4th of July, it's the one and only thing until Labor Day when you are back. Now, kids go back in early August in a lot of places.
Yeah, the South especially. They go back so early down there. And I did always felt like I missed out on that fall, that autumn experience of associating that with school. Because it was hot when we went back to school.
Yeah, the whole thing of the crispness in the air of autumn. Every one of those cliches is, like a white Christmas, watching the ball drop. It's all written from a New York point of view. New York has went and pushed their weather and holidays on everyone else. So people in Arizona are like, hey, white Christmas, right? Having a white Christmas down here. This is why Texas needs to go off on their own, have their own country, without anyone telling them what Christmas should be like. Here's Dan. Dan in Wisconsin.
Yeah, hey, just wanted to say, he was talking about criteria for holidays, like Christmas time and certain things. You have to go do things with family and certain people. I just don't want to do that. I get invited places, and I just flat out tell people, no, I'm not going to do that. I mean, I don't have time to do the stuff I want to do. I'm not going to.
Are you going to say that to your mom?
No, I don't say it to my mom. She just kind of knows that I do my own thing. She doesn't invite me.
How many brothers and sisters you got?
I have none.
You have no brothers and sisters, and you're not there for your mom?
Oh, I am. I mean, it's just certain times of the year and stuff. She knows what I do, and she knows there's time for her at other,
I guarantee you this. She's cried at Christmas. She's cried at Thanksgiving. You've made your mom cry. You just don't know it.
You like that?
You think so?
I know so. And you know what? This is something that I'm going to say the truth about only children. You fucking spoiled brats. You don't care about anything but yourself.
You never learn to share.
Yeah. You never learn that you're part of something.
I think you're thinking of rich.
I even think that poor only children are spoiled. They get all the attention all the time.
No. I think you're thinking of people that had maybe a good, really solid childhood that maybe be like a single kid.
I find you to be cold like a Swedish person. That's how I find you to be. Swedish people don't care whether their mom's upset or not. Mm-mm. Probably because she has no soul or feelings either. Chris, you're a fucking only child, right?
That's right.
Why didn't you grow up in China where the only children fucking reign?
I don't know.
Share. This is why you don't communicate well with other people. You have no idea what the people next to you feel.
Oh yeah, I have a hard time figuring that out.
You know why?
Why?
You're looking inward. It's all about you and your Game of Thrones fucking talk.
I wish maybe my parents should have had a brother or sister. Things would have worked out better for me.
They did have a brother or sister. It's you that didn't. You dummy.
Maybe we should sign you up for the Big Brother program. Where you learn to, you have a little buddy. You take him, to the ball game.
Just the opposite. He needs a fucking big brother to take him around. Teach him how to wash, how to fucking clean up after himself, how to sleep under something other than newspapers.
They're so convenient, though.
This is like a nice mentor program.
Yeah. You'll have an adult lead you around.
Now, what's the oldest kid you think that'll be in the Big Brother program?
Like 16, 17.
You think so?
Yeah.
I always think of them as I think up to 11, you got to start to feel like an asshole. Some stranger coming around acting like they're your friend.
I know somebody who is a big brother, and I think his little, that's what they call them, littles and bigs. His little is like 16.
That's weird.
And almost, I think, as tall as him.
Really creepy. They call them littles and bigs.
Yeah. And you know what they ought to start calling that too is Big White Brother. Because it's just these fucking white guys going into the fucking other part of town.
He is the big white brother, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's how it works.
And then their problems are a lot more intense at 16.
Look, let me tell you something, you fucking littles. I'll tell you what it's like to have a big brother, and that's when you never know when you're going to end up in a fucking headlock. That's where, like, if you're caught coloring or something past the age of 5, your masculinity is called into question.
That's maybe the kind of mentoring Chris needs.
The people that don't want big brothers have them. It's a fucking nightmarish situation. Let's go over here to let's go to Jesse. Jesse, what's up?
Hey, Ron. Well, I'm an only child, too, and I don't go home for any holidays because I deliver groceries. I'm a truck driver, and I make sure that people that have families can go home and enjoy their families, and then I take a week after the holiday and go see my mom and dad at that time.
Yeah, that's called Freak Week. That's when the freaks, right, that were only children, because you are. I mean, to me, here's the number one freak.
Okay.
Twin. Then you know that you're a freak. And then after twins is only children.
We're number 2?
Yeah. And I would say, like, you can probably go, like, A, B, twins that are identical versus those that aren't. Identical twins.
First of all, if I wasn't an identical twin, I'd keep it fucking quiet that we were twins. I'd be just like, this is my sister. And that's it. So I'm not a freak. I have a sister.
Conjoined twins above the identical twins, though.
Come on, dude. Have you ever met one pair?
No, I've only seen them on television.
And they like to go by the other name, Siamese.
Oh, I didn't know that. I won't make that mistake again.
Here's Mark in Chicago. Chicken the car and the car won't go.
Hey, Ron. Hey, you just mentioned the Big Brother program. Are you familiar with the movie called Stevie? It was by the guy who did Hoop Dreams. He was a big brother when he was down in college in Southern Illinois, and he went back like 10 years later to visit the kid, and it did not turn out to be a very good story at all.
Why? What happened to the kid? Don't tell me gay.
He ended up in prison for child molestation.
Oh my God!
The movie's called Stevie. It's pretty powerful. I forgot the guy's name who directed it, but he was the director of Hoop Dreams.
Yeah, let me say something to the director of Hoop Dreams. Can you have one experience without making a movie about it? Just fucking let it be life for 5 minutes.
I mean, we're all living things. We're all experiencing things all the time.
Get cameras out of people's faces, for the love of God.
Do you remember years ago when I first met you? Yeah. I didn't know you were making a movie then, or I wouldn't have fucking stopped. Who talks about themselves more, fucking documentary filmmakers or comics?
I don't know. It's pretty close. I mean, comics might edge out just by quantity for like different aspects.
Go to an open mic night and they just sit around and tell you what physical parts of themselves they despise. And you're like, it's adulthood, dude. Deal with it. There are some people born without a spine. How would you like that? There's some fucking jellyfish kid laying watching his TV going, so what? You have a bald patch. Stop fucking crying.
Accept your flaws, bros.
Accept your flaws, bros. Beautiful. Brian in Nashville.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey,
Enjoy
man.
the show.
Yeah, it's really good.
Hey, I had a little brother about a year ago who I had him for about 2 years who had ADD, the last D for destructive, and he also had a father. But the kid used to do some crazy shit. I took him to a park one time, and there was a railroad tracks nearby, and he was chucking railroad rocks down by the river.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, no big deal. Kids having some fun. And I looked down, and there's people that were picnicking down there, and they were all running for cover.
That's fucking hilarious. I love this kid.
It was crazy. I would pick him up in my car. I had a nice car, a BMW, and I wouldn't pay attention to him all the time. And I look down, and he's like peeling off the emblem to the car.
So what'd you do? Have to dump him?
What happened was he ended up moving, so that's what happened. But the the weirdest thing about the whole deal was he had a dad. So I used to go pick him up, and the dad, I was in my late 40s at the time. The dad was probably 10 years younger than me, and he used to just hang out on a couch and watch soap operas and smoke pot.
Yeah, you gave this guy finally, a couple hours to himself away from this goddamn little monster. But, if you really want the Big Brother experience, just tell the kid he can't come with you. Because we don't need any effeminate people around. That's what a Big Brother says.
Go back home.
Not allowed.
Get out of here.
Get out.
Vito, you're an only child.
Yes.
And you were with a single mom.
Yeah, just me and Leslie, roommates hanging out my whole life.
You must have felt like you were a junior husband then, just taking her around places.
Yeah, we had to go to movies together. We had to go shopping together. I always remember sitting with the boyfriends and husbands at shoe stores.
Yeah.
She was looking at shoes, just middle-aged man, me.
I see them like Lucille and Buster at Mother Boy. Mother Boy.
I bet that he was like that fucking weird kid on Modern Family where he was right in...
For 10 years.
Yeah.
Who was basically like my father.
He was like a dad to you.
Yeah.
Except for he was black.
No. I actually thought my dad was black when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because even when he was going through the late stages of chemo, he still really wanted to go to the beach. So he was super dark.
Yeah.
And had a shaved head. So I told kids I was black growing up because I thought I was.
You know who else thought their dad was black? Was Gail's fucking little brother. We lived in Florida. We were very tan. We were out every day.
We were very tan, and he said to us, to my mother, am I going to be white like you or black like Dad?
And here's the thing. And I said to him, no, you're going to be dumb like your sister. Try to figure some things out that are correct.
I had a friend who thought that for the same reason his
Imaginary
mom was light skin, his dad was dark, but he was Italian, and he decided for no reason whatsoever that he was Pilgrim and Indian. So he thought for some reason that his mother was a pilgrim.
Nothing on the planet, and this includes European, bloc countries, Eastern Europeans. Nothing is as dumb as a kid.
No,
because here's the thing: they're not. You'd think they'd be curious and ask a lot of questions. You're a stranger in a strange land. They just think that they figure out stuff, and then they move on from there, just building upon this stupid mistake that they made early on.
Yeah, they just decide two people are married that aren't, or people are they'll just get in these ideas and they're like, I guess that's what it is. That's how it goes.
Hey, Ryan in Jersey.
Hey, how you doing? You're on the money there. I'm a big white brother myself, and the kid my little was about 12 years old, and for a year he was cool, and then when he hit 13, he wanted nothing to do with me. Just like any 13-year-old, no one wants to hang out with an old man at 13.
Right.
He wanted to skateboard, play video games with his friends. So
that's what divorced dads don't understand at all. They're like, the weekend comes around, and they're like, oh, the kid doesn't want to go go-karting with me. And you're like, because you're his dad, who wants to be seen hanging out with their dad on a Saturday. If you want to be a real dad, you don't see your kids. If you stayed at home, you wouldn't give a shit if your kid was having fun over the weekend. That's up to him, not up to you.
Right.
So the only thing, you think a fucking dad who stays with his wife is taking the kid to Chuck E. Cheese and shit like that? Never.
Games.
You're looking at this kid and you're going like this. I fucking work all week long, almost 3 hours a day, sitting and talking about shit and looking at funny videos. Do you think I have time on the weekend to take you places? You think I have in my life? I never was on a fucking roller coaster with my dad, on the bumper cars with my dad. Why would we? If I wanted to do something with him, it was his thing. I'd have to fucking go fishing.
Divorced dads become party planners on the weekend, right? I mean, that sounds horrible.
Their fucking guilt runs so deep and they think a kid wants to hang around with their dad. Who would?
I don't think I'd feel that guilty. Like, all right, we fucked up.
I know you wouldn't feel guilty.
You're a bad
because you're an
example.
only child. Only childs don't feel anything except for themselves. But yeah, I'm always laughing at these guys. They're like, oh, I got to think of something to do this weekend with my kids. I'd be like, I don't. You're better off, seriously, staying in a bad marriage, right?
Yeah.
And then having the weekend to yourself. Being like, yeah, I got to go into work this weekend. Just fucking go out and do whatever you want to do. Your life would be better than if you went and got that one-bedroom apartment and tried to fix up this sofa bed for your kids when they come over on Friday, so they end up missing all the shit they want to do with their friends.
Who was it? Someone, like a famous person, someone recently said the statement that they were better off having their dad there, even though he was not that good of a dad, and people were kind of upset by the statement.
Somebody who came in and, it was Louis Anderson, and Louis is like, my dad was an alcoholic who beat my mother and us kids, but it's better than if he divorced because you'll never get over that because they think they're divorced for the children. So his dad stayed there. Drunk off his ass, calling, Louis fat ass or whatever mean things that he could do. Every time the wife spoke up, he started screaming at her, don't you ever disrespect me in front of the children. Then he threw a fucking bottle through a window, passed out in his boxer shorts in the driveway, and it was better for Louis than if he would have left. Loved it. My dad was a good man. He stayed home drunk. Oh, sure, he could have went out to the bar. He stayed home wasted.
He was always there. He wasn't nice, but he was present.
Sort of.
Physically. In his own way, he was.
He was physically present.
Not sober, but physically he was there.
Did he remember a lot of the things that happened? No.
It wasn't even all that long ago that if you wanted to divorce, you had to come up with reasons. And if the reasons weren't good enough, the judge would say, no.
Really?
Yes. You couldn't go in there and say, Your Honor, this woman won't fucking stop knitting. And I'm going to kill myself if I stay there another 5 minutes.
You can get a divorce rejected? Oh, that must be the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, I mean, if you couldn't prove that person either cheated on you, was not like fulfilling their marital duties,
right,
whatever, if you couldn't prove those things.
That was the big thing. It had to be cheating, or she just lost interest in sex, or I don't think a woman at that time would have the balls to say, Your Honor, he's not giving me the fucking stiff prick that I need. I'm telling you, I don't know why I married Needle Dick. I need a big, thick, hopefully Italian cock. Or this isn't going to work. By the way, I added it in my mind. I said, I'm not going to say black. I'm going to go for Italian.
That's good, though. It's different.
You know why? Because I'm progressive. But yeah, you could go into this place and you had to not only said that he cheated, but figure out if you could get some pictures of it. You could hire somebody to take some pictures. Look at this, Your Honor. And now, of course, you could just say, I don't want to be in this marriage anymore, and you're out.
I hate this.
It's also why people used to just like run away from marriage all the time. Like people would just be, instead of going through the process, they knew that they had no way of proving why they were unhappy. Men and women both would just leave. They would just leave.
Not only that, but sometimes the man, he couldn't stand this fucking woman anymore, or not even that. He just met some new piece of ass at work. She's fucking 24. She thinks it's amazing that, he owns every Rolling Stones album. And you could say, Your Honor, my wife is crazy. She says crazy shit, and we're going to put her on Roosevelt Island. And they used to take these fucking women. This is like back in the 1800s. Fucking roll them out on the island, and they'd have to stay while he moved the new chick into the fucking house.
Yep. So it was very common, I think, with upper class people that you would claim hysteria on your wife. Like, she's crazy. She thinks.
Yeah,
you
could accuse anybody of being crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, this armpit sniffer. He would have been fucking just thrown in. He'd been thrown into a pit. Could you imagine that you're being fucking rode out there and you're just like, hey, it's not a big deal. Give me fucking $8,000 and I'll go to Florida.
Get the hell out of here.
Here's Angel. Can I call you Angel in the morning? Angel?
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Hey, you're right. Nobody wants to spend time with their dad. I'm an only child also. My parents got divorced. I did not want to stay with him for shit. Every weekend, come on, guys, let's go watch the game and let's go do some. I'm trying to take my friend. Dude was a worthless. No, don't do that shit. Go set up that own little one bedroom and stay by yourself. It'll be a lot easier. Grab a computer. Remember how it used to be. Play with yourself.
Look,
some other type of shit.
My parents were together, and there was no chance of them breaking up, you know? I mean, you could say that I fucking, was a very lucky kid in the terms of what kind of family I was born into, blah, blah, blah. And then my parents would say, let's go away for vacation in the summer, and I'd be fucking screaming, no, you don't know what I'm going to fucking miss here. I can't fucking deal with it. I cared more about whatever stupid thing was going on in the neighborhood, whether it was a party, fight that somebody was going to have that everybody be talking about later, or some new fucking girl moved in, whatever it happened to be, than I would going on a vacation. And they were like, you're going on vacation. You're too young to stay by yourself. You'd be like 13 or something. And you're just like in the back seat going, I fucking hate this. This is terrible.
Now imagine you had that every weekend. You had to go to a different
like that.
neighborhood that your neighborhood friends were not anywhere nearby.
You know what would happen? He'd wake up in the morning and just find me hanging from a belt because I fucking missed a party somewhere. just freaked out.
Well, it was a kicker, so.
Look, my parents made me go down to the beach. I come back, and I swear to God, the 40 kids are running at the fucking car. They're screaming, rap fidget. And the fight lasted an hour and 25 minutes. They fucking fought each other for an hour and 25 minutes. Jesus. And I'm fucking down there on some inner tube like a moron. Missing everything. I was just glaring at my parents.
Beautiful weather, though, right?
And then Rapper, he shows me his fucking arms, and he's just got all these bruises from the amount of amount of punches that he fucking had to block. So finally, he fucking tackled Fidge, sat on top of him, headbutted, bit, over. Hour and 45 minutes. I miss the fucking fight of a lifetime.
It's amazing.
It still bothers me to this day. I'm just like, well, what was Fidge just dancing around that time, and Rap was playing rope-a-dope? Fuck. Back then, nobody had a phone, so I couldn't even,
Couldn't even World Star it.
Yeah. No, this never would have made World Star. These two white kids spending an hour and 45. But that's what I'm saying. If you go back and remember to think the way as you were a kid, you certainly don't want to go to fucking Goonie Golf. 13.
Again.
Not putting all the time. And I don't know. I guess I am champ. I don't know what I'm doing at school. No, I haven't found a girl yet. I'm 13 and I'm all buck teeth and elbows. Feel like a loser. The thought of fucking girls make me dry heave. Why are you asking me about this? Hey, buddy. What do you say we get some za and watch the Mets game? Fucking stupid.
There's 7 things you could actually do with a 13-year-old kid.
That's a really good point. I mean, what are you, look, do I want to play laser tag? Yeah. With my dad? No. That's horrifying to me.
A fucking adult.
I didn't even want other, kids, somebody from school to see you with your parents walking through the mall. Nightmarish. I wanted them to think they had a 1-bedroom apartment of my own somewhere.
And it's a very specific time of your life where you believe that. Because when you're very little, you're like, yeah, I have parents. Here they are. They take me everywhere.
I love them.
And then all of a sudden, you are like middle school age. You don't want anything. And then eventually you come around and be like, yeah, these are my parents. I don't know why you have to go through this phase where you're just like, I don't want anyone to know that I have a loving family.
Yeah. Remember when, like, you'd go over to someone's house and their parents would be there too, and you're like, this fucking blows.
Oh my God.
They're in the home that they're paying the mortgage for. When are they leaving?
Like, this is something you probably wouldn't have experienced, but a lot of times when girls have sleepovers, there can be like an over-enthusiastic mom who's just like, now what are we watching?
Friend mom?
And you're like, no, like, we don't want you here. And cool mom is 100% the least cool mom there is. She's like, I don't care if you guys drink. And it's like, we don't want it. We wouldn't want to drink in front of you. We don't want you to be here.
Dad, the fact that you're playing air guitar is neither funny nor cool. Stop acting like Jack Black. You're a fucking old creep.
I remember the first time I was at a movie theater with my mom and I saw two kids from school by themselves at the theater. And I was like, fuck, this is it. I'm never going to a movie with her again.
Dude, I remember being so little, I'm in my own house. I could sit on the first step, right? And I was fucking playing to myself that I was waiting for a bus to go to a movie. That was my fucking fantasy, to be able to go catch a bus to a movie. And I had to be like 4. And the thought of even then.
Gotta get out on my own here.
I got news for you, though. My parents never took me to movies. They didn't care for it. They thought it was eventually going to get to TV.
Yeah, they didn't care for the pictures.
Not big into it. And no problem that eventually there would be commercials and bleeps. It's just as good.
Better, probably. You cut out having to go to the theater.
My dad only likes one kind of movie. Movies about baseball. That's it. That's 100% of his movie collection.
And the best is if you're watching a different kind of movie than that. If he wants to say something or bring up something, he'll pick up the remote and turn down the volume and go, you know, the thing is with this. And then you're like, we were all watching the plot. Like, because he doesn't really think like that. He'd be like, why would you be watching this?
It's stupid.
Hey,
I just had a
you're
thought.
watching that.
It's so funny because he'll call me up and go like this. I just got this movie last night. It's fantastic. And I'm like, when's baseball? I would just start fucking smiling. It's called Bull Durham. So, like, Kevin Costner's, like, legitimately his favorite actor.
Yeah, 100%.
Or maybe the only actor.
There's Kevin Costner and who else? I guess that's really it.
Cobb. I just watched Cobb last night. Just fucking loves baseball movies. Look who it is. We haven't talked to her in forever. Janice from Chicago. Hey, Janice.
Hey, Ronnie.
Good to talk to you.
Plantation, Florida, the strawberry capital in the world.
Oh, you're enjoying your annual Florida vacation?
Oh, no. But whenever the strawberries come out from Plantation, I always look for them. My in-laws always go to all the festivals.
That's Plant City that you're thinking
Plant
of. Plant City.
I'm
Yeah, they have the
sorry.
big strawberry festival every year.
I'm sorry.
You can go on the rides or buy things that have strawberries in them that shouldn't.
Yeah.
You try any of the strawberry mustard? No.
Hey, yeah.
Mustard is better if you put a little strawberry in it, isn't it?
I don't think so, but thanks.
What? There's so much to say. I don't know where to start. Does Vito call his mom Leslie?
No, I never call her Leslie to her, but when I'm talking to my friends about her, I'll call her Leslie.
Oh,
Why do you do that? To make it seem like you're cool?
No, when I'm talking to my friends, I just feel weird being like, yeah, my mom said this. I'd rather just be like, well, Leslie got into this today.
It's weird.
See, I think the my mom or my dad is okay. You're like, my mom said this, my dad did this. But people who say, you know, mom always was like this.
Mom was funny this way.
That always makes me very uncomfortable.
Some kid on my block, he had a stepmom that he called Peggy.
Uh-huh.
And we fucking attacked him for it constantly. For not having what we called a real mom. And then when we were mad at him, or even just having fun, we'd say, why don't you go home and fuck your Peggy? This was the wit that we had at the time.
Good.
Yeah, just a biting wit. Go fuck your Peggy. I know. Even now, if I think about it, I cringe with embarrassment. Like, that boy.
It was different.
Yeah. So the Leslie is the only way you refer to her, but you've always had a great time with your mom, right?
Oh, yeah. We were in a cab the other day. She was just having a ball.
Why?
We're going down on the West Side Highway because she was going on the gym when I was going to work the other day. And I didn't realize she's like having like a 5-year-old child with you in a cab. She just keeps going, what's that building right there? And I was like, I don't know. And then she goes, oh, you've been on that boat before, right? And I'm like, yeah, I've been on that boat.
I like New Yorkers who take a trip in their own city, where they're like, I don't go to this neighborhood very often. Ooh, it's lovely over here.
But-
You're like, you live here.
Well, here's the thing, though. The city changes so much and so fast. I just heard this coming in the cab today. The Waldorf, one of the most famous hotels in the world, going condo. It's going condo.
What? Is that true?
What?
Yeah.
Wow. That's really insane.
It's wacky.
You know, nothing, like we were saying, everything changes.
I hate change.
Yeah. I mean, I say to the cab driver, I go, what's next? Tavern on the Orange? You know what I mean? The other day I came in with a cab driver. He was a fucking Jamaican. All he wanted to talk about was the Knicks and what trades they should be making and what they should be doing. I'm like, you're a fucking Jamaican. This shouldn't even have anything to do with you.
Loves it.
Your big sporting event is coming up, the 100 meters. Is Bolt running again, right?
Yes.
This is his third Olympics?
Yeah.
I believe it is, yeah.
Has anyone ever won in the 100 meters 3 different times a gold medal? I don't think so.
No, not in that.
That's because they couldn't become professionals. You know what I mean? You could be a professional runner now. And in the old days, you had to stay an amateur.
Is that all the way across the board, every sport? Or
Across
just
the
some?
board.
Okay.
Across the board.
Because it's insane. That rule was crazy.
Well, Bruce Jenner, pre-Candace, I had him on my show. And when all I talked to him about was winning the decathlon. I should have sat there and asked him if he was a man or a woman. I would have fucking gone viral.
You didn't know.
I had a feeling.
Does he still have his stick, though?
Yeah, he does. I think it's his. I don't know. He might have had that taken off. Had another one put on there. But yes, that's why some people won't say that he's a woman. Because he kept his penis. Some dudes aren't ready to fully commit. So, the day that he wins the gold medal, he's at the peak, he has to quit. So he can start making money for his wife and baby. This is like if he would have went back when the Patriots won their first Super Bowl, then Brady says, thank you, I got to get out of here and start selling cars. It's fucking nuts. It's nuts.
I needed to survive.
I can remember when hockey players had businesses off season so they can make a living. Stan Mikita had a restaurant.
Oh yeah. Fucking Pete Rose used to sell cars, and I did Dream Week with Johnny Callison, who won the MVP at an All-Star game. And when the season is over, he bartended to fucking Phillies fans. And he's telling me the story. He goes, yeah, in the off season, I used to tend bar and guys would come in and ask me, about this game or that game. And he was like, it's not so bad. I could drink. I mean, they don't even have the guys sit. You would think at the least, have them sit there. People come in and listen to the stories. No, he's got to go get somebody a fucking highball back in 1966.
Get to work.
It's nuts, isn't it?
Holy shit.
All right, thanks, Janice. Talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Every once in a while, a gigantic star will call our show, and it's always a thrill. It's always an excitement. The last Comedy 101, this gentleman came in, destroyed for us, had his lovely wife with him. They call him the Dean of New York Crowd Work, Mr. Rich Voss. Rich!
How's it going?
What do you say, buddy?
Going?
Yeah.
I'm listening to all these divorce stories, and I guess you moved on.
Yeah.
But and going out with your parents and being embarrassed. One day, what do I think of this? One day, I was in 6th grade, and we're in the lunchroom, all the kids, and all of a sudden the whole place goes quiet. And all of a sudden I turn and I see my mother. So when a parent walked into the lunchroom, then, everybody knew,
right?
Oh, they're so-and-so's parent. So now they bring me out right by the doorway as all the kids exit out of the lunchroom. And my mother's there with the principal yelling at me, smacking me in front of the whole school, as tears are coming from down my eye. And it was quite the embarrassing moment, having that happen. Now, I don't know the point of this story.
No.
But what's that?
No, I remember when they used to do that. We're going to hit somebody in front of the other children. I guess it was a way to, strike fear into them.
Shame.
What was your mom there for? To see you get hit?
No, my mom was smacking me. My mom was there because I was just a troublemaker in school.
Right.
In 5th and 6th grade. I was just always in trouble. So I guess, because when I was in 6th grade or 7th grade, they put me in a special class with all the troublemakers, and we used to just sit and fight and wrestle.
Right.
The principal would go, okay, you go fight him. So I was always doing whatever. I was trouble. And I guess she came in one day to teach me a lesson in front of all the other kids. What I'm saying is divorce stinks,
Stay. Just stay. It's only until they're 18. You can do that standing on your head.
Yeah, my ex-wife, luckily my ex-wife and I, when we got divorced, I worked nights and she worked days, so I would have my kids in the day, have them at night, and I lived right by her. So basically it wasn't like, because there's nothing worse as a single dad to take your kids to the park and all you're doing is looking to see if the other dads have rings on or don't have rings, so you don't feel like the only divorced loser there. You're at the park going, oh, look at that one. There's another divorce. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's such a hard, the kids, they hate it. It's horrible. God, do I have nothing.
No. See, this is what I like about this, though. Because you have that relationship with your ex-wife, you have to work harder at that relationship with an ex-wife than you ever have to do with a wife.
Yeah, you would probably just
because you could hurt. Yeah, because it's suddenly like this nuclear detente where you could each fuck each other up.
Oh yeah, like I did the opposite. My parents, and I told these stories. I remember, when my parents would use us kids as decoys. I remember my father would come see us, whenever. We're sitting in the window. Oh, here comes Daddy on Saturday. Well, here's Daddy, and all of a sudden, detectives would jump out of the bushes and arrest them, So, my mom would use us to get them, oh, shit, they're taking them away. There goes our Saturday. Because, so who's more fucked up? Him for not paying child support or her for, I remember one time she dragged us all the way into New York on the bus from New Jersey, Port Authority. He comes to meet us. Fucking detectives, arrest them. What the fuck? This is crazy. I'm a fucking pawn. Can I at least make it to a king or a queen? Something good in this life.
Here's the thing: you were part of a sting operation. What kid wouldn't want to be in on that?
The bait. Yeah. That's horrible.
It's fucking horrible. My mother. One time, my mother took us to my grandparents on my father's side, knocked on the door. Me and my brother and my sister knocked on the door. They answer, and my mother goes, "I don't want them. Take them." Boy, no abandonment issues there as a kid, huh? I don't want. Take them. Nowadays there's babysitters, this and that, so the single mom can go out and get laid. Back then, take them. And it's been a lot of fucked up issues that I've had to deal with. But I did just the opposite with my kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I guess it was a good learning experience, and really the only reason I called was for you to go how fucking funny you were at Comedy 101. But I needed a topic to lead into
I know,
that.
but you were so funny. Bonnie was so funny. The people, like when we played it, just the response was insane. It was really one of the funniest nights ever.
It was so much fun. And the fact that the girl got so mad at Bonnie.
Hilarious.
When me and Bobby were fucking ripping her to pieces, and Bonnie was almost taking her side.
I know. She made maybe one small joke, and you could see her turn like, oh, okay, that's not okay.
But that's women's, right? That's the way the ladies treat each other.
Yeah, it depends. Like, some women are that way. Like, that they...
Most.
I don't know about that.
Well, you know what? But here's, you know, Bonnie really is pro-women and helps a lot of female comics in more ways. So the girl's tweeting us the next day and horrible. You know, we both blocked her, obviously, but, you know, who's Bonnie fucking to get this and that? And, you know, and I'm going, this girl's out of her fucking mind. If anything, you know, Bonnie could help her. Why would she, you know, but there, and she tweeted or said, I didn't know what was going to happen. Well, you had 3 guys in front of you. You saw what happened to them. What did you think was going to be any different with you? Because you got a fucking kid job or something?
Are you sure that was the same girl? Because we talked to her that night, and I thought she was loving it after the fact.
Yeah, I met her afterwards, and she seemed...
Yeah, no, Bonnie even hugged her, said goodbye. She said, and she was tweeting the next day, believe me, you know, just horrible stuff. And I said, look, stop now. You're dealing with, you know, whatever. And I'm telling you, she sent her picture of her, you know, sitting there. And, you know, her picture on Twitter is her in a bikini, you know, like sitting on the lawn or something. Yeah, you know, it's a real comedy picture of her, you know, with her fucking dumb kid. Although she did have a good line when I retweeted her. I mean, when I responded to her, you know, I cracked on her face or her long head or something. I go, you know, whatever. I call whatever, horse face I called her. And she goes, well, my mom had a tight pussy. That's why my head is so big. But whatever. Anyhow, it was a great time. I have absolutely nothing on this call, and I'm sorry to waste your time, but hopefully I did give a little insight on divorce.
I think it did. I think it worked.
Yes.
Thank you, Rich. We'll talk to you soon, my friend. Peace. The Rich and Bonnie is about as funny as it gets, period. I cannot believe how fast that couple is.
Yeah, they're crazy fast. And being in the room, it was such a funny experience that I think I forgot 90% of the things that happened when I listened back.
There's
I was
too
like,
many
oh,
jokes.
shit.
There's too much flying around there. I wish I had a TV studio. I give them 10 shows tomorrow. I give them a 3-picture deal. I wish I owned Netflix. I wish it was Ronflix. Off we'd go to the races. All right, we're going to break here. Back. This is Bennington. It's the Bennington Show on a Monday. This is the Monday before the big 4th of July week. 4th of July falls on what this year?
Monday.
So next Monday is 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
So most people get that 3-day weekend and then try to tie in a couple extra days.
Yeah.
Chris, you been working on best stuffs?
Yeah, working on best stuffs. There'll be some good stuff this time around. Guarantee.
I wonder. I wonder.
You don't have to wonder.
Dude, you sent out an email to the people in the music department the other day that makes me feel like I got to check every email that you write. You wrote down a certain name that we would never. First of all, it didn't fit into the GPS because it was another group.
Yeah.
But you gave out a pop star's name.
Yeah,
which freaked them out.
Yeah, that was insane. I know.
And I didn't know that you send out those lists beforehand either.
Yeah.
Why won't you tell us?
I thought I did tell you guys that.
Did you know it, Gail?
I'm not sure. I don't think I knew about it. But...
I know. I didn't know. I mean, there's only reason to send that list, and that's for approval.
Well, they also need to know like what's going to get played.
Yes, that's approval. That's fucking approval. Okay. I've never done a show that, I don't check with Don to let him know what jokes I'm going to be doing in the next hour. It's a very weird thing in radio where you want to know whether where you need approval or you don't need approval. And I always thought that I was working from a don't need approval point of view. It's the Bennington Show. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we might have some great tickets to give out in the Bay Area.
In the Bay Area, yep, Mountain View, California.
What's the act?
The Fly the Conchords.
This is one of the great shows of all time. So we'll have a pair of tickets to that. We'll just do that off air. Do we know that why don't you check to see whether we 100% got them? It's 844-ROCK-GOD, 844-ROCK-GOD. This is really a hilarious show, and these guys are just brilliant. So we'll do it off air. If you'd like to, if you're in the Bay Area, make sure we have approval. 844-ROCK-GOD. The Flight of the Conchords, where?
At the Shoreline Amphitheater in Mountain View, California, with special guests Dimitri Martin and John Hodgman.
Jesus Christ, that's a great show.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I would have loved that show even if it wasn't Flight of the Conchords. Dimitri Martin supposedly has some terrific independent film out, too.
Yeah, it's coming out at the end of July.
What's the story on that?
I just know it's coming out at the end of July. He wrote and directed it, and he's
a very talented kid, man.
Yeah.
Really like him.
He seems like a very driven guy, too.
He is, right? In his own kind of weird thing of comedy. He did that Woodstock movie. I thought he was great in it. And, of course, his Comedy Central show and a stand-up. But that is a real... I mean, I wouldn't think that those three acts would go together. But, no, I wish I was the Mountain View Amphitheater. I'd be calling in to win those tickets. Now, every semester we go through a couple of new interns. And you never know whether they're going to be hit or miss. But you can normally tell, I'm going to say first day. The first day you would be able to tell whether somebody is going to work out as an intern or not work out. Am I crazy about that, or
no,
you guys feel the same
no,
way?
you get an immediate vibe. And
you get an
can
immediate
tell.
vibe whether this person is going to bring something new and unique to the show. And this year, well, we got two. Why don't you sit down too then? Next one. We got Coach, who we're all really fond of. But the off-air star up to this point has been Spencer Berger, everybody. Woo! Spencer Berger. Yeah. Who rocks the best summer wear that we have right now. Every day you've got a different kind of summer is fun shirt. Now, Vito, you and Hicks say Spencer steals office time in terms of laughs.
All the time. Every day he walks in just with the greatest attitude and a different song every day.
You come in singing, they tell me.
Yeah, I do come in every day singing. I try to come up with all these different types of songs to try to make everybody happy. You know,
and you change it up every day?
Do you do that at school too, or is this something just for here?
Well, actually, I just ended up doing this here.
That's your deal here?
Yeah.
I feel like it's the Meatballs movie. I feel like he's the Bill Murray character in Meatballs that is trying to keep the camp up. And you're normally, you said, a down guy in the morning, Vito?
Yeah, I'm usually tired, trying to just do my thing. And then I hear that song, door bursts open, Spencer comes through.
Yeah.
And I hear his song. And the first time I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
And then I heard it and I was like, oh, this is great. Like,
I don't know why that is. I don't know why sometimes there's always just one guy who can pick up a room.
Morale is important.
Yeah.
And I think Spencer, he recognizes that.
Spencer, you've been working with Chris on the booking as well, right?
Yes, I have.
But up to this point, you thought you wanted to be off air instead of on air. Why is that?
That I don't really know how to answer that question though, but basically I feel like now because I'm on air now, I feel like I've been more comfortable and I just needed some time.
You needed some time to get into it?
Get used to it.
Well, maybe. How long is your internship?
I think it's about like 12 weeks, I think.
You know what could be kind of cool later on is that we have Spencer do some man on the street stuff where, you know, you're in charge, you edit, you come in at just a couple of minutes. But I don't know, were you nervous the first time you came on the air?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I remember when I was a kid, when I was doing stand-up and they'd say come into a radio station, I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
What would I possibly say on the radio? And it's the weirdest thing. Like the night before, I was like, I don't know what to say tomorrow. And the weirdest thing is, I think we forget that when guests come through.
All the time, especially when a guest is very comfortable. And then when we go off air, they're like, oh, wow, that ended up being great. I was so scared. And you're like, what?
And you're like, well, you make movies, dude. Why would you care what you say on the radio? Of course it can be stupid. It's radio. It doesn't, it just moves away. Vito, what about you? First time on the air?
I was like for a second, and then you guys made me sing a song.
What was the song?
It was We Can't Stop by Miley Cyrus, because I knew it. It was like me and a girl intern came in, and you guys were like, oh, the girl probably knows the song. She was like, I don't. And I was like, I love this song.
Who was your girl intern with you?
So my first one was Stephanie Castro.
Oh, yeah. She was kind of a mean person, right?
And emotional.
Yeah.
Very emotional young lady.
Yeah, we'd always have to, one day, I forget who hurt her feelings, but we had to call her at home and make sure she was okay.
Yeah. I had like long text conversations and phone calls, making sure everything.
And who was your second one?
Nerese.
Oh, she was great.
Yeah, Nerese was my buddy.
You still talk with her?
Yeah.
I know her and Molly hang out.
Yeah, they came in. They're besties now.
So, Spencer, is that something that you would think would work for you, doing a couple men on the street things?
I think I might have to think into that too, but overall, maybe like about a week or two, I'll try to think into that otherwise.
Okay, so that wouldn't even make you comfortable. You even think you would have a problem with it. Because it's always, he's the funny guy off air, right?
Definitely.
But on air, you're not, you're just easing into it.
Yeah, I'm starting to get into it, and I'm getting used to it, and I think it'll probably come up to me shortly.
Now, you're from Long Island, right?
Correct.
What's the gang out like that? Who's your crew that you run with?
Usually, I talk to a couple people from high school, but it's been a while. But like people, I have a buddy who's from Cali who went to college with me, and I have another one who's from upstate New York, and he also has a house down in Florida. So I've been keeping in touch with them ever since, though. What's
fun to do on Long Island this summer? Long Island's big for the summer, right?
Oh, going to the Hamptons, baby. That's the best. That's the best place to go.
You're a Hamptons guy?
I've been going to Montauk ever since I was a little kid. I was a baby ever since we went there. You know, Montauk is the best place to get lobster roll, hanging out at the beach, you know, walking around town. You know, It's just one of the best places to go.
It's one of the most unique. I mean, people just think of it as this thing where, you know, stars go or whatever. But I find it to be the strangest. When you get out to the end of that island, it's like you're honestly in the middle of the ocean. You don't feel like you're on an island. It almost feels like you're on a ship out there.
Yeah, I think it does have the reputation of only just being like a certain type of folks can go out there. But the first time I ever went out there, I stayed at I think it's called the Memory Motel, which is
from the Stone song.
And it was written about that.
Yeah, we actually go to this place called John's Drive, and it's actually right across from the Memory Motel. And like, I remember when I was a baby, I used to like walk there, and then, and I actually didn't know about it until like I've heard someone talk to me about it. And it was a song made by the Rolling Stones, and I was like, what? That's the same hotel?
Yeah.
That's the same hotel it was written about?
But
that's crazy.
Yeah, but that same scene, it also has this real waterman feel, right? I don't know what they would, I guess these are oyster and fishermen up here down in Chesapeake Bay. They were always called watermen because you would not just do any one job. So it's also like a blue collar town at the same time that it became this upscale place. It's very, very strange, very, very unique.
Where's the best lobster roll in Montauk?
Oh, you have to go to Lunch, which is on Montauk Highway in Amagansett, and I think there's this also place called Red Hook Lobster in Montauk.
Yeah. I've been to Lunch, and that place is fantastic.
Yeah, and have you seen The Affair?
Oh yeah. The TV show.
Oh, yeah.
They actually filmed it at Lunch. They filmed the first episode, I think, there.
Right.
And it made it really, it amazed me because, you know, I've been to that place, you know, I was like, wow, it's unbelievable. I can't believe I actually went to that place.
Now, isn't the Long Island lobster roll come with mayo instead of butter? Do they mix mayo into it?
I think it all depends. I think it does come with mayo and like celery.
Yeah.
But the Connecticut lobster roll, that comes with like garlic and lemon butter.
Right. That's the one that I'm more used to. But I was watching a food channel. I'm trying to think. It was this little farm store out in Long Island, all the way at the end of the beaches. And they were making these pies and stuff. And I'm like, I would make the trip just for that. All right, that's the Long Island lobster roll.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of light mayo, like almost like a lobster salad.
How do you like it?
I like both ways, but I don't know.
I never ate the mayo way.
After I went to Lunch, then I was thinking this could be maybe the best one ever.
Yeah.
And then before then, I only liked the butter and lemon version.
Yeah, that's the only way that I know. What about you, Vito?
I didn't even know it was without mayo until right now.
You only had mayo?
I've only had mayo. I've only had lobster roll like a few times. Like, you guys you check out that boat on 42nd on the river, the lobster boat?
Yeah, but what's the place that Joey, is Joey back there now?
Yeah.
Joey, what's the store that you worked at?
Luke's Lobster.
Now that's only butter?
That is mayo, a line of mayo on the bottom. It's Maine style lobster rolls and butter and garlic on top.
So I've been eating mayo on it, but just not mixed in like this.
Yeah, not like a big
I didn't even know
lobster
that.
salad.
I never tasted the mayo in it before. It kind of ruins it for me. Because I think I'm going to be up in New England over the break. I'm going to this place, Amity Island, and it's so beautiful. It's great swimming.
What does Amity mean?
Amity means friendship.
Beautiful.
Although I just got a text that they're talking about, Hooper's talking about closing the beaches.
What? Hoop? I need my summer dollars.
Hooper drives the boat, Chief. I hope it's open by the time I get there. I'm staying with the Kittner family. And other than their kid, they're wonderful people. So I didn't even realize they ate mayo because I was like, I couldn't eat it that way. But now Joey's telling me just the opposite. I've been eating that way the whole time.
I always thought they mixed the lobster rolls with mayo and butter at the same time.
Is that right? Now, Chris, you don't even eat it.
No, I don't think I've ever. I've never had a lobster roll.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
You know what? We're going out for lunch one day.
You know what, dude? You're coming out to the Hamptons.
Let's go, Spencer.
Yeah.
Well, now that you don't drink anymore, Chris,
I'll eat 7 lobster rolls.
Now, you only go out there in the summer though. You don't live that far out.
No, I live about an hour and 40 minutes, but usually like when we get up to Watermill and stuff like that, that's where we usually hit traffic though. So it usually
it's crazy
takes,
traffic, right?
Because Hamptons is popular. Everyone goes out there during the summer. Like, this is going to be a big weekend, big 4th of July weekend.
One of the worst traffic jams I've ever been in my life was coming out of Montauk, coming back towards the city.
And it's like that every single time.
And we were just in the same spot for like an hour.
Yeah.
It was insane.
What we usually do is when we go out to Montauk, we usually get up early to try to avoid the traffic. So basically we get up like around maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock to try to get to the beach the first day. And then usually coming back, we usually come back at night and then we usually don't hit traffic coming back.
Dude, you can run into traffic at 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, there could be a backup at any time. But, and I've been to beaches all over. There is something, I know people bring up the light and all that kind of stuff, but there's something just unbelievable. When I went there, I'm going to I can't wait to make fun of this place. That was in the back of my head. I had 10 beaches I wanted to say were more beautiful, but it's stunning out there. It feels good. It looks, it's a shame that, you have to be Billy Joel before you can enjoy it now,
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that it's a beach that's just not lined with hotels, because that's also, I mean, if you go to Miami Beach, it's a sin, really, what happened to the natural beauty of that beach. You just think of it as these giant buildings. And that's most places in the country where there's a highway right on the beach. Like when you're out west, you're like, you can't believe how close the highway is to Malibu Beach. It's crazy.
And it's really pretty in some spots in Montauk, too, where it's very rocky. So you kind of get the road, and even some of the hotels and houses get blocked. So you can really have a moment where you feel like you're just on a very natural beach in certain spots.
Yeah, it's amazing. East End Rob, he's in the Hamptons. What's up, buddy?
Ron, I live about an hour west of Montauk. I'm not that far out, but this plan to entice Chris Stanley to go to Montauk, especially if he's not drinking, Montauk went from 2 years ago, a nice posh place, to nothing but a deterioration of wild drunkenness, people throwing up on the streets, people sleeping on people's lawns. They've had to figure out what to do to keep the tourists that come out to drink, and on the other hand, prevent it from being a drunk fest. So tell Chris it's not a good idea for a sober guy to go out there.
Yeah, not good for you, Chris.
I'm in New York City. I see drunk people all the time.
You don't feel like you're ever going to drink again?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's bound to happen. I don't think I'm ever going to smoke again, though. At least I really don't want to do that.
Can I tell you when you'll start smoking again?
When?
When you drink. Because
That's fucking dangerous.
Yeah. Because that's when the decisions
And on the other hand,
change.
because it can be a drunk fest. So, Chris, it's not a good idea for a sober guy.
How are we beaten back like that? That was crazy. It
was really strange.
Yeah. Because that was impossible. It's not even like he was even still on the line. So we could say turn off. He hung up, and then that started happening.
I feel crazy.
Spencer, you're right to kind of put your big toe into radio. There's always weird stuff that can happen.
Yeah,
This is my first time. If this was my first day on the radio, I would have started screaming back, "This has already happened. There's something wrong with the Matrix."
The Matrix.
So you're liking radio so far?
Yeah, it's given me a great experience about what real world stuff is like, and I'm learning, and it's a great environment, and I feel like this is really going to help me a lot wherever I go.
You're not sure what you want to do yet, though. It could be TV.
Something like that, but I'm thinking about, coming here maybe, and right now I'm in the process now, like I'm almost getting up to the point where I could say, that's it.
Right. But here's what the young people, I always would tell them, don't even worry. You know what I mean? Sometimes people think that these decisions are so important, but just do something, and then if you want to make a change, you make a change, Look at Vito. He came in here, he did an internship, he thought he was going to be a film director. And then why aren't you chasing your film dream? What happened? You went all the way through film school, right?
Went through 4 years of film school.
Yeah.
Made movies.
Made a really funny movie where you played the part of Bigfoot living in Central Park. And when he was, he invited me to it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be a nice guy and go sit through a nightmare and then say good job and then go home. But I was actually laughing for real. I mean, obviously it was a student film. It wasn't like you were going to a Hollywood film, but there was enough in there that you could turn around and go, all right, now that we have a budget, could we do something with this idea?
Yeah, I also got scarred from that movie. So, because I had the Bigfoot makeup on, whenever I get sun now, you'll see a really dark red line that goes right here from like the fake head I had to wear.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I must have had like the makeup guy was really good, but I didn't pay that like for the best supplies. So like now I have like a rash that'll come up here every time I get sun.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Your Bigfoot rash.
Yeah. And it really bothers me. But yeah, no, I gave up on film because I just didn't really like the people that I would have to work with in the industry. I didn't think that they cared more about, they don't care about the stuff that made them love film. And they just focus on like being artsy and being like I don't know. They want to make a statement, but they don't know what the statement is.
But here's the thing. Those aren't the kind of people who get to make films in Hollywood anymore.
That's true.
You're going to be sitting around working with people who think Independence Day 20 years later is a good idea. People like yourself. People who think The Rock is a good actor.
Look, The Rock captivated our hearts from 1997, 2002, and now he's back.
Oh,
geez.
You're only going by wrestling, not by movies. Maybe that's why you're not in the film industry.
He was the #1 box office star of 2015.
For what film?
He did like 5 or 6 movies in 2015.
Well, what were they?
Fast and the Furious.
Didn't see it.
Some other movies.
Oh, Jesus.
He did one movie.
No, he did a few. I just can't remember, but they all made money.
He's not the star of that movie, though, right?
No, he did that movie San Andreas, that disaster movie that China loved. Like, China went nuts for it.
The wrestler?
R.I.P.
And he wasn't the star of Fast and Furious. He was just in the Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, but he rebooted that franchise. He came in and everything fucking went nuts. Okay?
It was pretty nuts before he got there.
He showed up and that's when they started doing like worldwide
you know what?
heists.
You're right. You don't belong in movies. You don't think properly. I didn't even think you belong in radio.
No, he's a good guy.
You think so?
Keep him here.
All right, who's the guy teaching you the most here, Spencer?
Pretty much, Vito's the one who's pretty much teaching me, and Joe's like slightly underneath Vito, but they're both. But just so you know,
what
they're
about
both.
Chris? Does he interact with you at all?
Sometimes, but I know Chris has been busy with a lot of other things.
He sings to me in the morning, which I really appreciate. Yeah, and I love that.
Yeah, but what are you giving
what
to
was
him?
today's song? I want to hear it.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Spencer Berger, and on this day I have a breaking news story to tell you. I'm proud to say that I will be going on air for the first time today with Ron Bennington.
That's hilarious. That's a nice start to the day. Hey, have our guests stopped by yet?
Yes, they are signed in. They're coming up.
Well, all right, Spencer, you broke through. Today's your first day. Way to go.
Thank you.
Your
Thank
first
you.
on-air day. Who we got coming up next?
Emma Willman and Kendra Cunningham.
Do we have those tickets to give out?
Oh, yes, we do.
All right, so make the announcement.
All right, so it is tomorrow night, the Fly the Conchords with Dimitri Martin and John Hodgman. We have a pair of tickets to give out. All you have to do is call 844-ROCK-GOD, 844-ROCK-GOD. Totally free tickets tomorrow night at the Shoreline Amphitheater in Mountain View, California.
So you've got to be pretty much in the Bay Area to win this?
It's right by San Francisco.
Find yourself there. All right, so it's 844-ROCK-GOD. This is going to be a fantastic show. Give us a call, 844-ROCK-GOD. We'll give out a pair of those tickets. Be right back with Emma Willman and
Kendra Cunningham
on Bennington.
Bennington is back. We've got Emma Willman and Kendra Cunningham in studio with us. For Emma, go to emmacomedy.com for all her performance dates. The Check Spot airs Tuesday, July 5th at 3 p.m. East on Raw Dog Channel 99. And Kendra's album Blonde Logic comes out September 16th on Rooftop Records.
Sweet.
Go to kendracunningham.com for performance dates.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Emma, you were on a float yesterday.
Yeah, I was on a float for Pride. But I'm not a huge Pride person because it stresses me out, gives me social anxiety, existential crisis, like so many emotions happening. But I did the float and it was fun. It was nice, you know. My heart didn't swell up.
What did you wear?
I wore just a t-shirt and some pants. I don't know. I didn't know what to do.
Just a t-shirt and some pants. What were other people wearing?
You made it sound,
I saw tits out. I saw nuts out. You know, they don't put...
They should have gone to the parade.
I've been to it before. One year Fez was on a float. It was
You were on a float?
No, Fez was... I was excited. I thought to myself, I'll walk along and shoot some of this because it was so funny. Couldn't move.
Yeah.
You can't move.
Why did Fez... So Fez is gay and Ron's friend. And why didn't Fez let you on the float with him?
Well, he didn't know he was going to get on the float to the last moment because it was a lot of stress. But he was wearing like Daisy Dukes and a little tank top.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
But see if you can find it. There's video of it. Yeah.
See, I have a hard time trusting because one time Chris told me that his penis was taken off in a meat grinder.
That happened.
And you believed it?
Yeah, but the way he said it was very convincing and like vulnerable about how no one really believes him, and then I didn't want to perpetuate. And
he's a liar. Is what he is.
That's true.
Can't believe you would lie that way.
But so he was in Daisy Dukes. Did he meet people?
Do you have the video?
Oh, that doesn't look too absurd.
That looks like shorts.
And Tim.
Yeah,
This is really a bad picture you found. There's video all over.
We need better evidence, I
Am
think.
I the only one who can see that properly? It looks crazy to me.
He looks like he's just wearing shorts.
Yeah. There he is on the thing, and this was his big coming out, and he was flying the flag, and he was loving it.
There he
But
is.
you could see how packed it was there.
What float was it?
The vitamin water float.
Yeah, the vitamin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because they're all the different colors of the rainbow. We figured out. Yeah. Because the floats are pretty expensive now.
Yeah, seriously. Do you guys know who the Grand Marshal was? I really didn't look into anything with the parade.
I saw Hillary in it. So
She walked in it?
Yeah, Hillary walked in it.
Hillary Clinton did?
Hillary Clinton showed up unannounced. Unannounced and just jumped into the parade, and the place went crazy for her.
Can she do that?
Yeah, she's Hillary, and she's and she was with the governor. The governor was
shit tons of security, right?
Yeah, I would imagine.
And she had Al Sharpton, the anorexic Al Sharpton.
Yeah, what's he up to?
I don't know.
You know, he got on that soup diet, that soup fast. That
I know.
he did, and he's never been able to put the
When
weight
he was
back
down
on.
in Puerto Rico, he said, "I'm not eating." And then people were like, "Hey, you look great, dude." Like he was acting like he was Gandhi.
Yeah.
And then he got anorexic, and he stayed that way.
And then he said, okay, fine, I'll eat, but I'll just eat soup, which has never been a form of
dish. Was out the other night, and someone said, "We have soup," and it just meant we're putting the meal off.
Yeah. What if it's like a nice lentil hearty soup?
I don't
with a cracker.
Yeah.
I like to chew. I like to.
Yeah.
And
this
I like
is
a
an argument
noise.
me and Chris have had very in depth over whether the soup is a meal. It's the Banyan argument.
You can have it as a meal for sure.
What do you think?
Like a chili?
You can have a soup as a meal. I'm talking
Absolutely.
broth based too, not even just thick.
He's saying a broth-based soup, not a chili.
No.
You're out of your
It's a
mind.
meal.
A chili, I'm going to agree, is a meal. A stew, I even believe to be a meal. But by the way, can I
stew,
get a hunk
definitely.
of bread, please? Can I dip in here a little bit?
Chewing is necessary.
Yeah.
Kendra and I went to Glasgow and did the Glasgow International Comedy Festival, which was like, it was an incredible experience. But they had the food over there. I forget if I tried a bite. I forget if I tried it with you, but they had haggis. You guys ever had haggis?
I've never had it.
What is it? Like baby brains or something?
It's brains, right?
It's brains, it's intestines.
Yeah, it's all
it's all that stuff.
In
That's
a
right.
sheep's intestine.
Yeah.
I know that's...
So the sheep's intestine is the case.
That's the casing. And then it's filled with, I think, just organ meat. Like lots of organ meat.
I remember it having a weird consistency to it.
Yes,
it was almost
absolutely.
like rubbly or something.
I think it's the main reason Billy Connolly's been unhappy. I think he grew up eating that for so long. I mean, the Scots are not known for their food. The Irish are not known for their food, and then they marry each other.
Right.
And they have really annoying children who drink too much. And
they gotta drink it to make the food taste good.
They want to fill up before dinner comes.
They've never had a spice.
But there's only a couple of countries who are not known for their cuisine. And Scotland and Ireland seem to be two.
Then England, right?
No vegetables.
Oh.
Yeah.
They have no vegetables.
England has been known for a horrific cuisine as well. Even with all the fish around there, they're not known. They're an island nation that's not known for decent fish.
The only thing I'll give them is I like a meat pie. I'm a fan of a meat pie.
Yeah, shepherd's pie.
That's the only thing I can
At a ball game, though, they
That's
eat
what they
them.
do.
They eat them at soccer games. A meat pie.
That's just a pie with meat in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Just
like mashed
clarifying.
potato, like a shepherd's pie has like
No, I
mashed
don't like any
potato.
of that.
Oh, you don't like?
No, they gotta separate it all.
Oh,
'cause
see, I
love
like it all mushed
No,
together.
not mushed. I have to do the mushing, otherwise I'm uncomfortable with the ratio. Not that I'm that anal retentive.
My very good friend is from Scotland, and he's gay, and when he was a little boy, all his dad wanted to do was get him into soccer, and the only thing he was excited about was the meat pies, and he used to make his dad really mad. And he said like his mom had him like in a nice fancy little outfit, and the dad would already be mad at that, and then he'd just show up and be like, "So when's the pies?" And he's like, "Enough about the pies, watch the game." But he won't stop talking about the pies.
I love any dad in denial. It's always my favorite thing. Oh, he's loving the soccer games.
Right.
Is he?
Yeah. Dad's in denial.
He just likes the view.
Yeah.
The pie and the view. That's it.
Dad's in denial.
I know, it sounds like a good show.
Yeah, it
is.
Is it?
No, wrong. Well, I mean, I'm like, that's a perfect name.
Yeah,
you can just bring back fathers and go, what were you thinking?
Right.
Back in the 90s. How did you
man.
miss this?
My poor.
So true.
Where are your parents, Kendra? Are they in Boston?
My mother's in Quincy.
Okay.
My father's dead.
All right.
Just occurred to you, like, oh my God. I lost my
I was like, I didn't know. It sounds like so, I don't know what, but I was going to say passed away, but my real thing is he's dead, so.
Whoever that is.
Emma Willman and Kendra Cunningham are in studio with us. EmmaComedy.com for all her dates. Yes. Check Spot airs next Tuesday, July 5th at 3 p.m. East on Raw Dog 99. And Kendra's album Blonde Logic comes out September 16th on Rooftop Records.
You know, what would you say your dad was in denial about? Yeah, what did you
That's
get?
her dad.
Yeah, that's her dad over here. But what was a fastball you got by him?
What were you in denial about? I'm not even sure I'm ready to admit anything like that.
Is that right? Still bothering you?
I think I would still hold on to that.
All right, go ahead.
You feel
Take
like
it to the grave.
You're so intuitive. Were you like that as a parent too?
No. I had zero interest in the children. I didn't feel like it was didn't seem like it was my business.
All right.
Where did you guys grow up?
Well, they were in Florida and then came to New York City.
I moved here when I was about 14.
Oh, okay.
And then, would you guys talk during that time?
During the I mean, we were always close.
We never had like well, the thing was, I'm not big on rules.
Right.
So that made it easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I throw in I don't care. Like some people feel like they want to control.
Yes,
and
my
I was
mom
just
was like the not loose on the rules. My dad was, he was curfew, this, everything, rules.
I think there's a lot to learn from mistakes.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that's where the learning comes in, when you yourself decide.
Yes.
Right.
I did this behavior and it doesn't work anymore.
I would do the stupidest shit And then I would get grounded. So then instead of me learning from the stupid stuff I would do, I would just focus on him grounding me for so long. But man, just so much drinking and driving, just dumb stuff you can't do.
That's
in high school.
My problem was my parents were divorced, so my mother would ground me. And then when she kept me home, she'd like color my hair and bring me shopping and all this stuff. So I'd be like, I'd come back from not being grounded with like a new look, you know, and everyone's like, oh, Kendra's back. And I'm like, that's right, I am. I'm going to get grounded again in about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
The best cycle ever.
Yeah.
Because I had a thing where I just couldn't stay at school, you know, and that used to drive my parents crazy. And
Well, it's very difficult. To stay, I mean, especially when you get to the age.
Yeah, I would leave. And, you know, I had other, you know, I was running my own little business and we would organize parties. And it seemed like it was a better thing to do than sit in the school, you know? And I used to drive my folks nuts, you know?
Yeah.
So you would leave and then they would be looking for you and they'd call your parents, or you would just
Sometimes I'd be
quit?
150 miles away. I'd be in Wildwood, New Jersey for the day at the beach. And when I come home with a suntan.
They go, how was geometry?
They would always try like, how was, I don't know, it went great. Everything's great.
Really
I go,
good.
no, there's no homework. My parents used to swear to me, I know you have homework. I go, no, they let us do it in school. I never had this single, you know how people will talk about anxiety about turning in a paper or a test? I was fine. Just not having it. Don't do it.
Now, here's my problem. I had that attitude up until the night before. And then it would be like full on guilt. Like 24 hours before that, I was like, I don't give a fuck. You know, like that's the thing. It's like not even a big deal. And then the night before, I'm like, I'm ruining my life.
I give so much of a fuck.
I'm like staying up until 4 a.m.
Did you do well in school? Would you be okay on the test?
That kind of stuff I always did well on. If it was like I had to bullshit a paper, I could do that well, and I did that. But anything that actually had to prove that I had learned something, no.
That's the tough part.
That's, you know, like if
anything with math,
you
blew at.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, me
I
too.
stunk at it. And like chemistry, like nearly sunk me.
Yeah,
and it was
me
like,
too.
they're like,
And
we
English
can't
and
in good
Spanish.
confidence give you a diploma
And geography.
if you can't understand this. And I couldn't.
And that's why we can't do the amount of chemistry stuff on this show that we
I
went
know.
to today.
There's so many topics that they're like they start off and
Ron's
chemistry.
chemistry interests are being repressed.
You know, it's weird. My dad's a chemist.
My dad's a mathematician.
Is that right?
Yeah, my dad's literally a mathematician at a college in Maine. He teaches math. He's all about math. He writes papers about math.
Don't you
what
wish
the
you were
fuck
good
are you
at
still
it?
talking about? Yeah, but this is the thing. He hindered me because starting the second I would get math homework, he would come in and help me. I'm putting help in quotes, and he would do the homework. So I started to learn how to just be like, oh, yeah, I understand it. You put that with that. And he goes, you see what I did? I go, I see what you did. And then he would do all the homework. I get 100s on the homeworks, 0s on tests. And then my dad would say, well, she clearly has test anxiety. And he went into the school and was like, she gets stressed out about tests. You know, he enabled me.
Well, that's
no
his
math
job.
skills. Oh.
But
it's nice he defended you, though.
Yeah.
Well, he really believed it because I was like, well, the test stressed me out. Of course, they fucking stressed me out. I didn't know anything.
Nothing.
Of course, they stressed me out.
Nothing.
I actually once like walked out. Like I wouldn't make an excuse. I was like, I'm gonna excuse myself because there's not anything I'm going to be able to put on this paper, and I think you know that. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave.
It's all starting to run together like a nightmare. But you know, the thing is, I had zero interest in math, and now I realize math is the language of God. This is physics. If you could understand that, your mind would be blown.
Really?
At all time, yes. If you could sit down and figure out what makes up everything to the universe and, you know, each thing and why they connect.
And that's math?
Yeah, math is what you need to know before you get to algebra and geometry and physics. You've got to be able to figure out all that stuff. You've seen Big Bang Theory. There's some fucking thing on a wall there. It's on math.
What is the Big Bang Theory? Something exploded and then I didn't pay attention is the problem.
Here's what. The Big Bang Theory is not so much of an explosion, I believe. It's where everything went from being very small to being very large.
I can understand that. I've had that with eating habit things.
Yeah, it's like your eating habits. It went from being very small to very large.
Yeah.
They weren't going to tell you.
eating.
From soups to barrels of soup.
Why do I actually feel like I'm in class right now? Now, Mr. Bennington, this is like eating, right?
Absolutely.
So what you're trying to tell me is...
Can we correlate everything to food so I can understand
Seriously,
it that way?
I've told this on the air before, but my whole school was so stupid that even when we would ask questions, the teacher would be crazy because it'd always be like this. All right, Mr. Gingerfeld. This is history. They'd be like this. This is history, right? Yeah, motherfucker, this is history. And history is the study of the past. Am I right? What's your question, you moron?
I am so relating to that question right now.
You're just tiptoeing out to ask a dumb question,
Right.
but a couple questions that you can get right.
And you need confirmation of what class we're at.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we're in history, right?
Yeah. We can
Let
all
me just
agree to
set
that.
up. Let me set up what I'm about to get at. Yeah.
Like in terms of history, because we are in history class.
Were any of you guys in remedial classes?
Yeah, I guess that's what they would be considered.
Yeah.
That wasn't me asking that passive aggressively. Anyone in the room in a remedial class? Because I was in a couple of them. I was in special ed in high school. I'm surprised that you're looking surprised right now. I appreciate that.
Well,
Thank you.
It's just finally got to the point where I get it because I've seen your eye.
Exactly. Now it all makes sense. Yeah, special ed for like a year.
For what? What classes?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll just go in there a lot. I didn't even ask what classes. They're just like, you're going to start going into special ed. And I just accepted it. But I would go in there and cheat, basically. But I didn't cheat when I got to grad school. I didn't cheat in college.
No.
I cheated. No, I did.
Did you have dyslexia or anything?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I believe ADD.
Oh.
Do you have anything?
I don't know. Not that I'm aware of.
Good for you. Good for you.
I clearly have both dyslexia and ADD, but I never tested for it or anything. But I think everybody probably has a touch of that kind of stuff.
You better have ADD in this goddamn new world that's coming.
Yeah,
that's true.
You got to be able to do 8 things.
Yeah,
That's true.
And
That's a good point.
this was my thing. This is the way that I would cheat. Not even copy. I go like this. Hey, smart girl. Do some of that for me, would you? Don't get an A. Don't get an A.
Oh my God. Me too. You can't cheat too good. The
Yeah,
king of
I know.
cheating, you can't. I cheated in a nutrition class where I had to go home and make something. So I went to the store, I bought some hummus, right? And then I brought it home and then I fucked it up. I took lemon, I took too much salt, and then I fucked up the hummus and then brought it in the hummus. But I spent the same amount of time fucking up the hummus than if I just made the hummus. And then I got a C+, and she was like, there's way too much lemon in this hummus. And I was like, I know, I screwed up for a C.
I had a C+ one time. My dad took us out for ice cream after. Hey! What's Einstein going to have? Chocolate chip? Huh?
I think my report cards were all the way down. I hit the gamut of every grade.
Yeah.
Because I did very well in English. I did okay in history, and then science, and then math. And so it was every grade. I
You got
every
them all.
grade.
A, B, C, D.
Yeah. You ran the circuit.
Yeah.
History was always my least I was least interested in it for some reason.
Could you do math?
I was pretty good at math. I mean, I never got into I could never do calculus or anything like that.
Of course. Did you cheat?
I wasn't really a cheat. I was kind of a nerd as a kid.
Good for you.
Really? Is that right?
I love that.
Yeah, I went to all girls high school. I was very afraid of
really
getting in
hot.
trouble.
That's great.
Yeah.
All girls, high school.
You didn't know that?
No.
Catholic, yep.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So, how many parties did you practice kissing?
This is just for practice.
I got in trouble in the 8th grade. I was dancing with a guy, and the nun called my mother and said that he had his hands on my ass.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Leave a little room for the Holy Spirit.
That's what they did.
That's what they said.
That's
My
so
neighbor
true.
too. I dated the girls from the Catholic school, and to this day, saddle shoes. It's the fucking hottest thing to me. Saddle shoes and little socks.
What's a saddle shoe?
Well,
the
that's
saddle shoe.
black
Yeah.
and white.
But you know how they would have the little Catholic uniforms and all that. And the fact that now that they've become kind of fetishized, you would think they would stop.
I mean, Elaine Bennett's really brought it back in a
Now
big
it's just
way.
a tease. Yeah. They know what they're doing. They know. They know.
I hope not. I hope they're at least making a mistake.
Right.
No.
Well, the actual skirts aren't as short as in the porns.
Isn't that true?
Yeah, that is
you
true.
Forget
I did
that.
notice that. In the porns, it's very short, and in the real life, it's less
Well, I
short.
think they used to say knee length, and they would have a thing. And you would
but
try
you
to
could
get-
roll them up.
Yeah.
Is what,
That was the
yeah,
thing.
girls roll them up.
Yeah, yeah. But
Can
they
you
were
pull-
supposed to go at least to your knee, if not below.
Right, which isn't as fun. But yeah, that does make sense.
But see, that's the thing. They would think, hey, if we separate the children, we'll be able to educate them better. But then they didn't realize as soon as we saw each other, we ran at each other like monkeys.
Right.
You know what I mean? We
Right.
want to fuck under the bushes like an animal.
Yeah.
You know, you're just out of your mind. You can't stand it.
Yeah, I don't think that there's any benefit from just not being used to the opposite gender. Like
Right.
you're not
I
even.
agree.
Because then suddenly they're like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
there's a girl in this room." Like, it's an intense.
Well, also, the Catholic boys never went to school with black kids, so they would see each other and start punching. You know what I mean? They didn't know how to interact. You know, they would-
I went to an all-women's college, and whenever I bring a guy friend on campus, he was the king of the campus. I
Sure.
mean, people would, and that was in college. So even I can't even imagine in a high school. I mean, these was just literally, he would come into the cafeteria. I had guy friends
No matter
like,
what he looked
bribing
like.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Bribing. Can I just come over for dinner? I'm like, why? The
Yeah.
food sucks. And then he'd get in the cafeteria, and I'm like, oh, I see. I get it. He's like offering to give girls like free sodas. He's like, come on, I'll get you a drink. Treating it like a bar.
They had a fantastic life. You know, Chris went to, what school?
SUNY Purchase.
No, before that, he went
Brooklyn
to
Technical High School.
See, he was a science kid.
You had to take a test to get in.
Yeah.
I don't remember studying for it, but they said I got in.
what was
Naturally brilliant.
Thank you.
What was the science that was your forte?
Oh, I was into media. So I was the only non-science major at the
you know, you never told that before, and I always thought that you were like smart.
Someone take the test to get in.
Wait, media is a science?
I guess according to Brooklyn Tech.
Yeah, it's not a science, but why don't you show your media background and be the plug king today?
Emma Woolman and Kendra Cunningham are in studio.
Nice.
Go to emmacomedy.com for all our performance dates. And the Check Spot airs next Tuesday, July 5th at 3 p.m. East on Raw Dog Channel 99. On Twitter, it's at Emma Woolman. And Kendra's album, Blonde Logic, comes out September 16th on Rooftop Records. Go to KendraCunningham.com for all our performance dates. And then check out our web series, I'm Not Buying It.
Kendra, are you going to have a physical album, or is it just going to be online?
It's going. Well, that's what I asked them about. I actually want to get vinyl.
That'd be great.
But
that's fun.
But they. You have to buy, if you want to get them, you as the person have to buy so many of them, and I can't remember. It was expensive. But anyways,
you can sell them at the shows, right?
Well, that's the whole thing. And then I told them no, and then like last week I emailed them. I'm like, when's the date I need to tell you by if I change my mind?
Right.
So
Is the vinyl way more expensive than an album?
you can get like I think you can get like 300 DVDs for like $800.
Okay.
And I feel like if you wanted to get 100 vinyls, it was going to cost me like, I don't know, $1,600 or something. I mean, I might be, I could be bullshitting you guys
Right.
like crazy, but that's how I remember it.
Well, Josh Gondelman said,
Yeah, he
'cause
got
I
the
had him in the
cassette
check
tapes, right?
spot too. Yeah, he got the
That's
cassette
hilarious.
tapes. Yeah, and I think he said they weren't that expensive.
Oh,
But
really?
then the problem is people then need to buy you got to buy the people
Right.
cassette.
They're probably empty tapes.
Right.
Around, we could go and play.
A vinyl would be cool though. Like that would be really
Yeah, that'd be
fun.
really
Yeah.
cool.
I got a record player and I've been doing a lot of records at home. So I was like,
Yeah.
I want to do that for mine, but we'll see. But
I remember
it's a thought.
The George Carlin vinyl always seemed magic to me. Like,
Yeah.
how funny do you have to be that this gets made for you like you were a band?
Mhm.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it was amazing to me.
It's cool listening to comedy out because I didn't even really do it before the check spot. I would just only listen to clips. Now I listen to a full album, and I feel like something on a vinyl would make it feel more like a listening event.
Right.
A CD or whatever, you're clicking around a vinyl. It's like, all right, you're gonna put down, you're gonna put it on, and then
Yeah.
it's like a show.
Yeah, then you
Right.
leave it on there. for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
I have the Steve Martin album on vinyl.
Let's Get Small?
Yeah,
Nice.
and then I have it's like a couple other ones too.
Yeah, any Albert Brooks? Because that
I don't
stuff
have any
is
Albert
just
Brooks.
genius. He did one where he was just in studio. Like, people don't realize that. He did one that he was just in the studio by himself, and Cheech and Chong used to do those. That they were basically doing, their
so
characters.
crazy. I just
That's
said
crazy.
to someone I think it was yesterday. I was like, I want to be a studio comic. I just want to
Yeah.
sit in the studio and
And
I don't-
there is a live audience.
No,
there's no one there. You just record
it. Tommy told me the stories. He goes, they got the deal, and then they said, okay, over the next couple weeks, do it. He said he was just sitting there, and then one day, Cheech was at the door and he wouldn't let him in, and that's where the Dave's not here came from. Who is it? You know? And they would just go, okay, that's 3 minutes. Now what? What are we going to do? And they would sit around like that. But people, you know, like when you do a podcast, you just sit around and do this. But what if people just started to try to do that? Now, the Albert Brooks, he does a thing that he hopes can get played on any kind of radio station.
Right.
So he's doing every format, and it's a fucking scream. It's the funniest shit you've ever heard in your life. And you know, it's just him hunkered down in the studio.
Right.
You know?
I feel like I would lose my mind.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're not getting any feedback. You don't know
Zero
where you're
feedback.
like, oh, man.
I didn't know. I love Al Brooks, but I didn't know that. I didn't realize that he made like his own movies.
Yeah,
like that movie
all
that-
the early stuff that he
like
did.
Mother, I think it's called.
Yeah,
or something
Mother.
like-
There's the Muse he did later in his career, but early on there's a movie called Modern Romance that is maybe the best breakup movie of all time. He did a fake reality before there was even reality shows. This is like in 1979. He's basically making fun of reality TV, but he's using documentary.
That's
It's
so interesting.
Brilliant shit.
That's so interesting.
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
so
He's
interesting when
amazing.
you trace back media stuff when they really predict the future.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's insane, right?
It's crazy.
The movie Network was made about the same time.
Right.
Made 20 years before networks got really weird. It's always Wag the Dog was
Yeah.
another one
I
that
haven't
was
seen that
made.
either.
Yeah.
It was
So-
like very much, it seemed very much like the Clinton scandal.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it happened maybe like 6 months before that story. Like the movie came out about 6 months before the story broke.
Wow.
And there were like all
so
these
crazy.
very bizarre ties to it. But
Maybe it's because, life just repeats itself
Right.
over
Yeah.
and over and over.
Yeah.
Well, have you guys seen Minority Report?
Yeah.
So I saw it a long time ago, but this weekend, I forget how it came up. I was talking to Janine Garofalo said that somehow we started talking about Minority Report, but she said that they had MIT, like, professors and people, whatever the word would be, that would know this, say, these are the things that are plausible and will actually be in the future. Like they actually, had a team of MIT people consult on Minority Report. So I want to rewatch the movie and be like, well, what the fuck's going to happen?
Right.
And I love Tom Cruise.
Well, Chris is, do
I
you really?
love Tom Cruise. I do. I think he's so captivating.
He's
I think he's so captivating.
Really?
He's such a little star.
he's had the longest kind of movie star run maybe of all time.
I love Vanilla Sky. Like he's just a little ball of, he's just a little star to
Chris,
me.
what's your favorite Tom Cruise?
Oh God, I love Top Gun.
Love Top Gun.
Seriously, that's your movie.
I
What about you?
think Tom Cruise in Magnolia is like, that's
Oh,
his
yeah,
best
he's
performance.
Still haven't seen that.
It's so good,
I know.
and it's one of those things where
I'm an idiot.
how
No,
could you?
I just like when people haven't done something to act like it's the most important thing in the world. You don't see that?
Right? Yeah.
It's like you're not even alive.
You fucked up.
You're not even a person anymore. Yeah.
What was the one? Wasn't he in the one with Jack Nicholson when Jack
Oh, yeah.
Nicholson's like,
Tom
you
couldn't
don't
handle.
need to.
Tom couldn't handle the truth.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was his
yeah.
biggest fucking
That was
problem.
a great movie. What was
Yeah.
that? I can't remember the name of it. They're so good.
Few Good Men.
Oh, yeah.
I just call it
You're
another
right.
Kevin Pollak film. Is what I call it.
Every time I can't remember a movie, I fuck up and call it A Time to Kill, and I don't know
That's
why.
smart.
I was about to say Time to Kill, but I did that the other day. I was like,
just
you know
throw
that
it
movie
in.
A Time to Kill, where the teacher goes into the school and helps the underprivileged kids, and they were like, I don't think that was that movie.
I would always believe it. I'm like, yeah, Time to Kill.
Yeah.
Good. I saw it on a double bill with the Time to Kill.
Yeah.
They were both great.
Both movies, very
Chris,
good.
you're in the virtual reality mode, but
Yeah.
isn't there a news story where virtual reality is going?
Yeah, so it's going to basically be every part of our lives now, is what people are predicting for virtual reality.
How long ago? How from now are we looking at?
Maybe 10 years.
Wow.
Like you can go to work virtually?
Go to work virtually.
Well, that's already a thing.
Go on
Son
vacation.
of a bitch. That
Yeah.
wasn't a prediction on my part. You mean like you can call in?
Yeah.
Scratch that. But like you could like have your whole, like you'd have a headset and everyone would go into an office.
Everybody-
Yeah, that's what
You
I
could
meant.
have a
We'll do
meeting.
this
Right.
show, but we'll be in 7 different places.
That's crazy.
And yet, maybe it's happening now, and we just
Right.
don't know it.
Right. Yeah.
That's the fucking thing, man.
Don't mess with me, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, somebody said that this weekend at the Stress Factory, they were saying that comedy clubs are they're gonna go in that direction.
No.
That's what someone was saying. I don't know.
Comedy's the nucleus of needing to be there for the. I mean, I know there's so many aspects. You got to still always have the live shows. You don't think so?
I'm just saying what they were talking about.
So people would be like, there'd be like a comic just somewhere off.
Like, I think it was more like if you bought an album,
right?
You could
get into
watch
the album.
it. You could watch it virtual reality, watch the album. Yeah.
That would be cool.
But suppose now you're at the Stress Factory, but with all these people on virtual, now suddenly there's 2,900 people watching that live show instead
that
of
would be
300.
That'd be great.
You know?
That'd
And
be
you're
great.
Like, hey, you're all fucking paying for this.
Right.
You know? But I'd be sitting in there, but I'd look like a giant unicorn. I'd just be sitting smoking in the corner. Who's that unicorn? Now, have you guys played with the Google glasses and all that?
I never have.
I
but
haven't.
would
You
love
have the
to.
stuff?
Yeah, it should be here. Yeah.
You have Google glasses?
Yeah, or Google Cardboard.
Google Cardboard,
yeah.
where you can. Now, this is where. What are you panicking? Where are you going?
I'm seeing if they
Chris?
have it down here. They can talk to me.
Vito, talk.
It's coming down right now.
Now, are these things? How much do these things cost?
Cardboard's like $15.
It's like
I didn't
15
realize
bucks.
it was some. Well, I have had my back to you. Though.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's not very nice.
You know what? It's
I'll sit
almost
like this.
no. You put your back to him. He's nobody. This guy. But you know what? It's like the old-fashioned. What would they have? Those peep shows and where you wouldn't have to be a glass between you and the woman.
Eventually, the wall's just going to come down again.
Yeah.
Put your back to him.
This guy is nobody. Turn your back to him. Don't you look. You're making everybody uncomfortable.
I had no idea there was someone there the whole time.
Vito's here in case somebody needs to dive on a grenade. If we were doing a Vietnam movie, you'd be the sweet kid who would dive on a grenade.
Thank you for that.
Kid.
I know.
He's the best kid.
See, he's trained.
Yeah.
Emma Willman and Kendra Cunningham are in studio with us. EmmaComedy.com for all her performance dates. The Check Spot airs next Tuesday, July 5th at 3 p.m. East on Raw Dog. And Kendra's album Blonde Logic comes out September 16th on Rooftop Records. KendraCunningham.com for all performance dates. And check out her web series, I'm Not Buying It.
Now, Emma, when you said he's trained, it's because you believe in that, right?
Say the last part again.
A little bit of training.
When I
should take
train.
in a relationship.
Oh, that he's trained?
Yeah. Do you believe in a relationship? There should be a top and a bottom. Am I right about this?
Whoa! No, I think anyone can do whatever. I think for me, it works better if there is some element of that dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know I can't fathom a relationship. I mean, I wouldn't want to be with someone who's more toppy. I'm not into that. Because if they were more, I don't like that.
No.
Like I'd be like, what are we gonna do now? Like arm wrestle? Like I'm not into that.
Not going to happen that way.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
When you say top, you mean be in charge?
Yes.
Like
Well,
be
'cause a
the
lot of times,
dominant, be the
like, it's
dominant
like if
person.
people always think of it with like gay guys, they'll be like the one.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think any relationship has that, or there's some but like sometimes like more mixed can be nice too,
Yeah.
I guess. But I guess it's different for some people. Like I guess there could be two versatile people together, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Or what do you think?
You feel like I pulled you over right here. I was just
Well, I've been thinking about this a lot. I think
There's
about
no
that
right
a
or
lot.
wrong,
I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean, normally in life, somebody always feels more comfortable in one role and somebody feels
Right.
That's why people partner up, not because they're
Yes.
exactly the same.
Right.
It's
Well, I
because
usually like
they're
people that
different
are
enough.
polar opposite of me,
Right.
very different.
Yeah.
You have to have some overlap, I think, in like sense of humor and like motivation towards things
Sure.
and similar
Yeah.
goals. But then sexually, I like the polar opposite.
I feel like I always like to be in charge, and then
You're in charge.
But then I'm always saying, I just want someone to like be in charge. I want someone else
Right.
to be in charge.
Right.
But
In the bedroom or out of the bedroom, you mean?
probably both.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty. I feel like I just automatically take control of what's
Right.
happening. But then I complain.
Ali Wong had this funny line. I'm going to botch it, but it was on her special. But she was talking about how she needs to have the guy. She's like, if you're not choking me,
Yeah.
she's like, do you remember how it went?
Yeah.
She's like, I need you to choke me, otherwise I'm going to be telling you what to do, and I don't want to do that.
She just wanted a little time to be dominated
Yes.
and then go back to the rest of her life.
Right.
That special, I've said it a million times.
Very good.
It's going to be a watershed moment. People are going to
Yeah.
look back on that years from now.
So good.
It was so fucking good.
Did you do an unmasked with her?
Yeah.
I got to listen to that.
I did, based on I saw that special and my jaw dropped.
Yeah.
And I said I gotta meet
It
her and
was
talk
great.
about this.
And I loved how because she did it. She had done a late night set. She didn't do the Comedy Central half hour. She jumped right to the Netflix hour. I just loved the way that she did that. And she's very nice. Every time I met her, very nice.
Well, she's the physicality that she was doing 7.5 months pregnant was insane.
I know.
I know, that was crazy, yeah.
7.5. That's
and then
crazy.
the way she was able to talk sexually like a person, not just like,
right.
Hear about mommy issues. And, that was just one little part.
That
of what
really
was
is
going on.
groundbreaking to be 7 months pregnant.
And I think it was pretty mind-blowing for everyone that she doesn't even address it for like a an initial joke. Then she just kind of works out her, she goes through everything else, and then she goes back to this idea of
She's talking about banging skaters and shit.
Yeah.
She's in this tight little thing.
It was so interesting, too, because since she didn't address it, I noticed it, and then I wasn't really thinking of it. And it was almost like when people were saying Tig took her shirt off in the special, I was like, oh my God, I can't even, how does anyone pay attention to what is happening? And then I saw it, and just the way she did it, it was like, oh yeah, now her shirt's off. And I was like, oh, this is, it's like, especially, with pregnancy, too, it's like normalizing it. That's great. Good for her.
I didn't see that. Tig did that in her special.
Yeah, she had her shirt off. And it was cool. I mean, you after a second, you're like, okay, and then it's back to her jokes.
That is the funny thing about life. That's how we will accept anything, is if the other person does.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's so true. Mm-hmm. That's such a good thing to.
And it's funny. It's one of the things that's most resisted is just when somebody says like, "Oh, I don't want that thing around. I didn't grow up that way, or this isn't what I wanted to see. I didn't want to see my family raised around this." And then it happens, and then they're fine with it.
Right. That's true. And people were screaming about gay marriage right before it was.
Yeah.
Right. Now they're like, I don't know. It's the trends that drive me nuts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
on to the bathrooms.
Who else can we chase with torches? Just tell me.
And you can see that in our country, but the best way to see that is in like a family dynamic.
Yeah.
Like when it happens all the time in families where people are like, no, it's impossible. I don't want my kid to be gay, or I don't want my kid to be different. And then they're like, no, it's fine.
Dick Cheney's daughter. I went and read some of her book, and I fucking hated it. So I read it in the store, and I would go back and finish it at the store because I didn't want to support it. But do you guys remember Cream Superhead Steffens? She slept with all these rappers.
Yeah.
Bought 10 copies of that book. Great book. I wanted to support her and her message. But Dick Cheney's daughter, no. I hated it. Didn't like it. This is kind of probably stupid, but what's Donald Trump's stance on, was he at the parade at all? Or?
No, he wasn't at the parade, and because he has to get the right-wing votes, he has to act like he cares about abortion. But he lives on fucking Fifth Avenue.
Right.
He doesn't care about gays or abortion or any of that stuff.
None of that.
Neither, by the way, did Rudy Giuliani.
Of course not.
We thought
Wasn't he a cross-dresser?
Yeah, well, he did put on dresses at least once a year.
Right, good for him.
I loved it. But like a python, like a Monty Python. But we thought he was conservative, and then he went out to try to run for president, and there's like, no, you're a fucking liberal, dude.
Right. Yeah.
You're a liberal who likes cops.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
That's the weird thing about it, is if a lot of people are forced to say stuff that they don't, and then
I understand that.
Trump goes, and there's only one true God, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. You know what I mean?
Who is that Trump? Who is that?
He actually said the term 2 Corinthians instead of 2 Corinthians. And that's fucking unbelievable.
Which I relate to, and that makes me comfortable in a way, almost. I'm like, yeah, it is 2 Corinthians.
But I heard I still haven't heard it myself, but I was reading a thing about people using the term daddy, and they said that at a Trump rally, people were fucking chanting, Daddy's going to win.
Oh my God. Daddy's going to win.
Yeah.
See, good for him then.
Yeah. That's fucking wild, right?
Yeah.
I definitely would say it.
How did he get that many people to call him daddy?
I don't know where that came from.
It takes me months to get someone to call me daddy. If that. That's why you're buying a lot of dinners.
How did he bring it up?
Yeah.
Isn't it awful when they drag their feet with it? And you go, no, don't fucking say it that way.
Right, no. It has to be someone I've only had that in like 3 things, but you kind of have to like float the idea, and then they'd be like, oh, you want me to call you that? And I'd be like, I mean, and then they're, and then it's like a thing. It's a whole political, a whole thing. So if he can get that many people to call him daddy, I mean.
Yeah. That's his deal.
I can only imagine what he can do.
Yeah.
How are they saying it, though? They were just like, why would they say daddy? I don't even get that. Like, how did he do that?
Believe me, I was just as confused and shocked, and I still kind of don't believe it.
No, I got to find it.
Did anyone else see this?
But it was in an article about the term daddy, that you call anyone but your father daddy now.
Of course.
Oh, right.
That's, oh man.
And describe things as daddy. Like, when's that baseball game yesterday? It was daddy.
Oh yeah, you're supposed to say things are daddy instead of that's so Raven.
I haven't heard that before.
All right, let's let them see the the virtual reality. What do you got, Chris?
This is the flight simulator.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Now this is just.
Wait a minute. Are you just putting a box over your phone?
Yeah, it's just a box over the phone, and that's it. Now, where do you check this out? It's $15 to buy this. She's laughing at you, Chris.
Wait,
But
is
he
this
lives-
a sponsor? Because I don't want to make fun.
No.
Okay, cool. I didn't want
Look,
about to.
This is a fucking satellite. We can make fun of sponsors.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I just wait for the credits to go.
Wait, I want to sell a box. We can sell boxes?
Yeah, you can sell
a
box.
Do you guys want to sell a box?
You want to sell your box?
But
You
could I just
are
sell
right now live. Me too, baby.
Sell that box. Move it.
All right, Emma. Just hold it up to your face.
Awesome. I mean, so this is a Google cardboard box.
Yes.
I mean, that is a good box.
She said that plenty of times.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. Oh,
Now-
this is cool.
Now, if you move around, you can see.
Look up.
Am
your
I watching?
perspective.
Is this a movie?
No, it's virtual reality.
Is it?
I'm looking.
Do you have to access?
Whoa. Where am I right now?
Is it a are there certain videos that you work
Whoa!
with it?
There's a person up there. This is incredible. This is amazing.
And that's just a box with your phone.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The future's here.
How long do the videos last?
It lasts like a couple minutes or.
How long before you come, Chris? How long does it take you?
I mean, not that long.
Wait, so do you think you can watch porn with these too?
Yeah, but I feel like the porn isn't there yet.
Really?
Oh, but it is on there if you want to see it.
It was very low quality.
Are there,
I love this.
Are there YouTube videos that you can watch with this?
Yeah, because
wow.
I love that.
They're selling 360 degree cameras, and people are making their own virtual reality content.
Right. I love that because I love that. I love like escaping
reality.
Crazy.
That is awesome. That is really
God.
cool. That's amazing.
I would like to smoke a joint and do this.
Yeah.
Well, you can. Nobody's stopping you.
Wait,
That's
so
the beauty of this.
is it Google just?
Oh my
did they
God.
make? Is this like a incredibly done box?
That's
I
crazy.
mean, all this they set up some lenses and take away your peripheral vision, and then you load up 360 degree shot content, virtual reality content, and then it's as if you're fucking in virtual
What's
reality.
your favorite one? So
And yet
far?
it's just a box.
Yeah.
There's one that I was using with the Samsung headset where you're in the Avengers, like you're fucking Iron Man, and it's intense. Just because.
Yeah, you can make.
Yeah,
You
and you
could create a
still use
whole
the
new
phone with that?
identity.
Yeah, you still use the phone.
Bring that in one day.
Okay.
They
I'll
should
bring it
have.
tomorrow.
If I can make a suggestion, they should
Well,
have a little strap so you don't have to
yes.
hold it. It's kind of a pain in the ass to
I
hold it.
completely agree.
I'd like to just strap
That's
it
what
on.
the Samsung one is
The
like.
headset has a strap, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it does.
like the other one. It's like straps to your head.
Let's invent a strap when we take it to Shark Tank. Sharks, you know what that is when you have on your virtual reality box? So who wants to strap in and make a fortune with me? So fucked up. I just want to see them all fail.
Oh my God.
What stops anyone else from making a strap and putting it on?
Yeah.
It's what we have is the passion to bring to this. I'm going to be working almost 3 hours a day on this project.
I'm not questioning your passion. I'm questioning your patent.
Oh, that's good. You should be
This
on
is
that.
incredible.
Yeah.
I love this. You could create a whole new identity through this.
You think?
You know what I mean?
that-
Yeah, like I could program it and be like, I'm sick of my life as this. I wish I had done something else, and then maybe I'm projecting a little bit, and then you just put on the glasses. You're in a whole new thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like a Sims, like a real life.
When I
Sims
was younger, we called it heroin, but now it's a whole new thing.
But there was the things a few years ago, it was like Second Life or something like that. And they were saying that this was like the beginning, and eventually that concept would kind of couple up with virtual reality.
and that fell off, right?
Yeah.
And I
think
know
it
a
did.
couple who met on there and got married.
Ooh.
In Second Life.
Really?
Did you guys hear about the story where someone got caught cheating? They were a couple on Second Life and hadn't met in person, and the person was caught cheating on Second Life. Or maybe they were actually together, but whatever it was, it ended their real relationship because it was like cheating in virtual reality.
Right. And
Who
then,
gives a shit about that?
Yeah, but see, the thing is, and then you go back and you feel like you're with your actual partner.
Right.
And you feel like you're cheating on your virtual partner.
Right.
You know?
But the virtual partner is a real person attached to the other virtual partner, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this is people who they're taking on new identities.
Right.
And they're like, okay, this is, and you don't have to be the same gender.
you could just
don't
be
like
anybody.
Yeah, you could be anybody.
It's like a avatar with like catfishing with avatars.
What president
It
would
is,
you
you
guys
know.
be if you were going to be like a like if would you
I'd
rather
be
go
Teddy
on-
Roosevelt. There wouldn't be no
Yeah.
doubt about it. I'd be going up San Juan Hill.
Taft, I guess.
Sure.
Grant.
Again with the alcoholic. You can't
Yeah.
pick somebody.
He did very well during the Civil War.
Are you still drinking, Chris?
No.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you very
great.
much.
He quit drinking and smoking at the same time.
wow.
Last week you seemed like you were having a nervous breakdown. This week you're better.
And I cut out caffeine because I was taking.
Oh my God.
At least as of 3 days ago or whatever.
That's the hardest.
These are really hard things to do.
These are really hard. I just got my teeth white and you said no coffee, and then I didn't have any for an hour.
For an hour you gave
No,
yourself.
but it's supposed to be a week.
Yeah.
So wait,
So-
have you been not drinking for 2 weeks or how long?
No, 4 months.
Oh, 4 months.
Whoa.
Wow.
I mean, this
5 at this point.
was a guy like at our Christmas party, ended up in the hospital because he blacked out, smashed his head, woke up, and then screamed and ran to work with his clothes on.
Jesus.
I got to get to
This gave me
work.
chills.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, at least you're responsible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. 4 months.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
Do you notice a huge difference in him? Like, is he like a whole different person?
No, I noticed like there's new weird things coming
Yeah,
out.
Right.
I mean, not positive
Yeah.
differences.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
No.
Nothing.
I've noticed that he's moved his addictions around into other areas.
Virtual reality, fucking
Yeah.
gimmicky.
No
Yeah.
caffeine, though? That seems,
That's a lot.
crazy.
It's only been 3 days. Let's see how this goes.
Because you just want to go full-blown health.
Well, if you're a cat, you don't drink coffee or anything
no,
every morning.
I'll
so.
drink like Red Bull. So that I
Right.
don't drink.
Oh,
But you don't-
Yeah,
were
that's
nuts the other
nasty.
day.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
terrible.
Ugh.
I'd rather do meth.
Yeah.
How many Red Bulls a day?
Depends. Some day I might have 0. Some other days I'll have 3 or 4.
Okay, because I drink a lot of caffeine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How many
Red Bulls?
coffee?
I'll have a Red Bull every now and then, but I'll have maybe like 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day.
That's
Is
crazy.
that a lot?
To me,
That's
it is.
a lot.
Yeah.
Like if I drink coffee, I'm amped right away.
Right.
One day on I just had like a cappuccino, and I'm on the fucking subway, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna just open these doors right here. And jump out. And that was one cup of coffee, right?
But didn't you used
Yes.
to do? Yeah.
I did everything. I did everything, and now a cup of coffee is the same as
That is
fucking doing a rail.
amazing progress. That's something to be
I don't-
proud of.
Yeah, I think I probably have virgin blood. It's probably
Yeah.
what happened. To me.
Maybe what it is.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Maybe that's why Chris was so weird the other day with his coffee or his.
Yeah, I
Red
think
Bull.
that happens.
Oh, if you had one now, you'd fucking lose it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be
Off to the
wired out of your
racetrack.
mind.
Yeah, I was acting fucking nuts.
You'd go nuts. Lose it.
But see, that's why a lot of people OD and die, because
Right.
when they come out of rehab, they get virgin blood, then they go back to their old dose.
Mhm.
And that's why you hear,
Not ready for
like he
it.
was doing good for 2 years, and then he just went out one night and he died.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Don't
Little
do it.
fucking chip for a while, kids, before you tie off. Just
Mm-hmm.
fucking skin pop. Give yourself 2 or 3 days of it. Glad I could help you. This is a PSA from me. You don't even ever hear those kind of PSAs like Keith Richards doing one.
Oh,
Just
that'd be
trying
great.
to tell kids how to stay alive.
Yeah,
Everybody's-
PSA you could really use.
I mean, when you have a guy that everyone's been waiting to die for 50 years and he does it, Burroughs was the same way.
Didn't Keith Richards get like a full like blood transfusion or something?
They say that. I don't know whether it's true or
Because
not.
can you do? Is that even like a thing?
No one else have I ever heard of with it, but
Like
you never.
100% different blood.
Yeah, that he would just sit there and just be taking the blood out of a teenage girl after she died.
Pay no mind to her, but he's doing great.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. I'm gonna get one of these boxes. You got me totally sold.
Yeah.
I'm hooked.
It's amazing.
Take that box and take Chris's phone. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I need
Keep the phone.
I
He doesn't need it.
Use your phone.
That's awesome.
What do you got on your Check Spot show? Who's coming up?
I got Kendra. We had Steph Tolf, who's a comic she lives in LA now, but she's from Canada. She was on our very, very first episode. And then Aparna Nansharlev. You guys ever met Aparna?
No, I don't think so.
No, I've seen her though. She's
Yep.
great.
She's great, and she had an album come out, and it's the first album on Tig Notaro's record label.
Wow,
which is
that's
pretty
cool.
cool. Benson Ball, I think, Benson Ball Records. So we've got the 3 of them, and then we have a submission stash, so people will send us in stuff, and then we'll pick, a lot of times it can be people that don't have albums, but they just send in some content, and we splice it up and put it in there. So
Are you going up to Montreal this year?
I don't know. I don't think so. Because I did the New Faces last year, so they were on, I know my manager was like pitching me for it, and they were kind of like, all right, well, we're on the fence. Usually people don't come back right away. And I had 3 callbacks for this show, Billions. And they were like, if she gets Billions, it's a shoe-in. Didn't get the Billions.
Oh.
3 callbacks.
The HBO show?
I think it's on Showtime. It's the one Dan's on.
Dan
Dan Soder
Soder's on
couldn't.
it?
Shout
Yeah.
out to Dan Soder, who couldn't have been nicer because he was just so great about the whole process. But to do that,
he's a really good actor.
Yeah, he's
huge
really
fan.
good. Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
guy! Great comic. It's great when someone's like so funny on stage and then also so cool off stage too. You know?
Right.
Is that rare? Do you think it's a rare thing?
It's a percentage.
It's a percentage. Yeah. Yeah.
I think because the idea of being up there and being about yourself, when someone said, "Hey, could you do this nice
Right.
thing?" You're like, "I don't even know."
I think you could say that maybe about most performers or like most people.
Or even
who-
human beings.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
People with the drive to like want
Yeah,
something.
like what percentage of people do you think are acceptable human beings? I don't think it's a high number.
And people are so complicated because you can be great in one area and then not so great in other areas.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? Like
And
you
they
can be a good friend and then maybe not as good of a.
But what
whatever else.
percentage of the human population do you think that you would meet and go, I'd like to hang out with that person again?
Right. And they'd have
2%.
your back and be really good. Yeah,
if
probably
it's
2%,
be high.
Right.
Yeah, I would say more. I might say 5. I
There
might say 5.
There's 5% of people I can see under some circumstances.
Right.
It really depends for me. It totally depends. But the more I get into entertainment, the more anxiety I'll get about other people because I won't know how to relate what I'm trying to do as much. Does that make sense?
No, do you mean like just go into a store or whatever and you're not doing a performance, you're just being a regular person?
If I'm going into a store and it's like a transactional interaction,
Yeah.
friendly all day. But like when I'm meeting new people and stuff like that, I'll have a hard time trying to explain.
like people you don't know.
Right. I'd rather listen to them just talk about what they're up to. You know what I mean? I have a hard time being like, well, I'm trying to do this and I'm trying to do that. But
Do this.
Yeah.
Just take a microphone around with you. How are you?
Yeah.
Nice to see you. Everybody okay today? How about you guys over here?
Right.
Where you from?
What's that, Emma? What's that mic connected to? Nothing. I'm dead.
What's the deal? You guys been
Get a
married
safety
or
thing from
you got kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I get a large coffee now? Thanks.
Meeting people is just crowd work.
Right.
It really is.
It's the same thing.
So when you don't want to go to a party, just crowd working.
It's
for a
true.
while.
And I actually do love talking to people. So maybe I'd bump it up to like 10%.
Oh God!
That you would actually seek out to spend time with again in the future.
I don't know.
Do you just think for a minute of the stupid things people say? Bumper stickers that
Yeah.
they just say to you as political thoughts.
But that's got to be a small amount of the population.
No.
That's
No?
most.
No.
And I don't trust people who would say like, I like everybody.
You should just stop the people. I don't trust people. No, it's like when someone says, I like all kinds of music. That means you don't like music.
Right. You don't listen to any music. Yeah, that's true.
Until you say you can hate certain bands, I don't think that you have an appreciation for music.
I trust someone more who says they hate. Like if someone's like, "Oh, I love gay people," I'm like, "Ooh," you know what I mean? Like something. I'd rather have someone be like, "I got my." You can't. Every time you lump people together, it's just one switch to saying you hate the group too.
By the way, I'm always glad, like, Big Brother has a fucking terrible gay person on today.
Oh, good. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And it's
And
always
he's
like,
just like
this is-
unlikable as a
Yeah,
person.
some
he's
fucking
just
asshole.
the worst fucking person.
Jerk off.
Yeah. See, people are people.
But yeah, it's a dangerous game when people are like, I love
those people. I
Yeah.
love black people.
That's
I love
like
Asian people.
Nick DiPaolo says. Whenever someone says, "Oh, he's a great guy. He never has a bad word to say about anyone," and then he's like, "No, he's a phony fuck. That guy's a phony fuck."
How funny is that son of a bitch, Nick DiPaolo?
Funny.
He's good. I just opened for him this past weekend.
Oh, no, is that
so
where
I
you
got
were
to
at Stress
spend?
Factory?
Yeah, I got to
Nice.
spend the whole weekend with him. I love him.
Yeah,
That's
he's
great.
just incredibly funny and very funny about some things I even disagree with.
Yeah.
Which makes me laugh harder than anything else.
Yeah.
Because he's so
Totally.
emphatic.
Yes.
He's so behind it.
You got to have different points of view, especially in comedy. It's refreshing too to have someone talking about the conservative viewpoint, also because you just don't hear
This
that.
was great because Nick was in and he was like, he can't stand the way fathers are treated in commercials and stuff.
Right,
like
right,
that.
right.
And Gail's like, oh, yeah, women can't relate to that. 'Cause since the beginning of time, you
Yeah.
feel like we've treated women like dopes in commercials.
Yeah, like since at least we've been making commercials. It's just like, is your skin too old lady-ish? Is your vagina weird? Like whatever it
Is
is.
nobody ever going to want to fuck you again?
Yeah.
I like
And
how
it's only a newfangled thing that men are
dumb
like,
white guys
yeah.
get treated the same way.
Like-
But even when I was little, I remember a woman be like, Pine Sol. You know what I mean? Like, he's some shitty thing. Like, look at this bitch. She's fucking crazy about getting Pine Sol.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this is what you live for?
And I was like, I think that men don't even realize that they just grew up with this constant thing that where it's like, I try to keep my family happy. Like, that's like every commercial.
That is such a good point. I literally never thought of that, because when I saw the people saying dads get a hard time in commercials, I was like, that's so true, but that is such a good point.
But it's new, and it's true now. Like, I think that it's probably annoying for men, the amount of obnoxious commercials, but yeah, it's been around
I
for
like
a
the
long
men.
time.
You're right. You are right.
I like the men TV show where it seems like the guy can't have a sandwich and watch a game. You know what I mean? Like, he's hiding in the other room trying to stack up a sandwich.
And that's so insulting to both genders.
Yeah,
like,
I
it's so
know.
insulting. It was like, I don't want you to be happy.
Right.
You're eating a sandwich.
Spit that out, fatty.
He's just spitting it out because he's such a fucking little bitch.
Now
that
give
he
me
has
more
to-
money so I can buy my shoes. It's like, what the fuck?
And then the children come around. Daddy's a dick. And he's a laugh track.
Everyone's horrible.
I would watch that show.
Yeah, I would too, actually. Yeah.
Totally watch that show.
We have over and over.
Sandwich abuse. Have you guys, I remember the last time I was on, we were talking about Fuller House for a minute. Have you guys been keeping up with it? I still have never seen it.
Yeah.
I watched like the first, like the first weekend. I watched a bunch. I think Vito watched them all, but yeah.
Vito, you watch everything dumb, right?
Oh, I went nuts that first weekend. I went all through Fuller House.
I think I watched like a good 6 episodes the first weekend. I'm not proud of it.
I don't know what it is.
So they did a remake of Full House called Fuller House.
They're all grown up.
Oh.
And they act like the children
For real? Or is it a mock?
No, it's a real
yeah.
thing. And now they want you to think that the children are bangable now that they've grown up, right?
Yeah, you're following DJ. She's raising her kids. Instead of
I can never get comfortable with that.
No, it's very
Who
weird.
was addicted to the meth?
Kimmy, who's now helping DJ raise her kids.
This is in real life. This isn't written into the show, but that would
Is
be.
Kimmy constantly bringing up the program? You know, whenever she's doing something?
Did they write that into the show that she was addicted to meth? They should.
I'm sorry, I totally meant Stephanie.
Oh yeah, Stephanie, who they
Jodie
just like
Sweet.
have her tits on a platter for every episode. They're just like, enjoy. This is the girl you like have known since she
That's
was 4.
her after the meth?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
this
for
is-
her.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow, she could.
Yeah.
I mean, good for her.
Those are not meth titties, that's for sure.
Yeah, because meth really fucks up your face.
Yeah. But it would be great if she had a big neck fucking tattoo.
Something.
Meth. With a heart next to it.
I chose meth because I love meth.
Well, there's always that little girl who just grew up on TV that Vito's always sending stories in about. What's her name?
Ariel Winter.
Now, she's from Modern Family, and if you watch, like, TV at 7 o'clock, she's like a child. She's weighs 10 pounds.
And now
she's being sold as a sex symbol.
Let's see. Whoa.
Wow.
That can't be her.
That's her.
Yeah.
Wow.
This
Wait,
could be-
Modern Families hasn't been on the air that long.
I feel the same way.
So how long ago was she supposed to be young?
Yeah, but in the first
'Cause my
season,
math
she
was
weighs
getting
like
confused.
45 pounds.
Yeah, I think it's been on long enough that she's been through like puberty through then. She was like
Wow.
a little kid.
Wow.
And now she's 18, 19. I don't know.
The
Good
show,
for her.
She's 18.
they should change the show to Bad Uncle.
Yeah.
Hey, you really filled out the last couple of years.
The best is this kid was supposed to be the ugly one.
What?
Yeah, so her the girl who plays her older sister is like the hot one who gets all the guys, and she's like the nerd ugly duckling.
Revenge. What happened to the little boy in it? The chubby little boy?
He's still around.
He's really thick now.
Has he?
I mean, he's
Man, he's still there. Yeah, he's a grown man.
Wow. Growing up with him. Yeah, I haven't even. I watched the first season, but there's no shows I've been getting into. But
What about Netflix?
Nah, I just watch comedy specials. What I should be watching is I haven't been paying attention to this election at all. Zero.
Well,
I don't
it's
even
not-
know who's running.
It's not important. It's fine. Your life isn't going to change one way or another.
Right.
I'm going to guarantee you that.
Right.
But soon we'll lose electricity and we'll be stabbing each other in the streets.
But somebody should run on that. I'm going to be honest, it's not going to change much for you.
No.
I'm going to keep everything up. Everything's going to keep going. Nothing's going to be destroyed. You'll be fine.
And that's probably even pretty good because there's probably so much shit going on that we don't even know about. They're just keeping it, keeping the status quo is okay.
Yeah, I know. I'd rather that than get worse.
Oh, sure.
That's for sure.
That's what we're looking for. Just the whole.
Yeah, nobody's going to make it better.
Yeah. Right.
Not for us, anyways.
Somebody should just run on, I'm trying to maintain.
Yeah, I'm trying to maintain.
Treading water.
Hold it right there.
Nothing new will be built. No new laws.
Would you ever go for being mayor, Ron?
No.
You'd be such a good mayor.
I don't care enough.
I know.
I don't have the care.
Could that be? What if you didn't have to do anything? You didn't have to care. You just were the mayor.
If that's the case, I will be mayor.
Right.
If I don't have to work
who don't
it.
care.
Yeah. I'll show up,
You're good with the rhymes.
for the parade. By the way, Fezzi sent me all the parade people, and then there's no one here. I think an AIDS activist, gay activist. I mean, let's face it. We want to see
I didn't
Cindy
see a
Lauper.
ton of celebrities at the parade.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just on the float thing, but I didn't see, I don't know who. I performed at it last year, and I got to meet Ashanti.
Is that right?
Yeah, I opened for her. This was interesting. She was rolling so deep with security. She probably had 8 security guards backstage, which made me wonder: is someone trying to get Ashanti? Is that like?
Well, they just
8?
shot that little girl in.
I know, that was
and she
terrible.
was on the fucking whatever the show was. The chair
Voice.
turns around. The voice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they shot her in the fucking head.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, how many
in front of all her fans?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And when you think of comedians, they just walk in the
I
same
know.
doors
Right.
as everybody
Of
else.
course.
Yeah.
That's always going to be weird being a woman on the road, right?
Right.
It's a whole different scene.
Right.
Yeah.
A man never has to think to himself, oh, I hope I don't get raped going
Right.
from the fucking hotel to the bar, to the shitty bar that's calling itself comedy.
Yeah,
night.
exactly. Please. They put a fake brick wall in the dining room.
Right.
Hey, everybody, it's comedy night. Can you turn off the TV then? No. Got to stay on. Bruins are playing tonight.
Be quiet at the buffet.
But that's a whole different scene, right?
Yeah.
How
Totally.
often do you guys think to yourself, before you take a gig, you go and check it out to make sure it's a...
I'm going to say never.
Never,
do
yeah.
that? Never. Never even think. I mean, now sometimes someone will be like, hey, Emma, did you look into that recently? Like, I got a message about someone contacted me through my website. They said, this is a show in London. Would you be interested in doing it 3 days? What are your rates? I forwarded it to a booking touring agent guy. He's like, okay, this is the whole thing. And then I was like, well, the biggest thing, travel's included. He goes, yeah. He's like, this isn't London, England, right? I had already said yes. I was like, done, of course I'll do it. It's London, Canada,
Ontario,
which is apparently,
yeah.
I didn't know that. So I never even think, I don't even look at this stuff. He was like, you look at these things at all, you don't even look where it is. And I was like, no, I say yes to anything.
Why aren't they called New London?
Right, something. I was like, I'd love to go to London. I was like, I'll do it wherever. And he's like, well, that's good because it's not in London. I was like,
Do you know anyone in London who can get me a show there?
right.
Well, you better check your St. Petersburg. You're not going to Russia either.
Yeah, right.
We got to wrap this up. It was so much fun.
Great to see you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Emma Willman and Kendra Cunningham. For Emma, go to emmacomedy.com for dates. The Check Spot airs next Tuesday, July 5th at 3 p.m. East on Raw Dog Channel 99. Follow her at Emma Willman on Twitter. And Kendra's album, Blonde Logic, comes out September 16th on Rooftop Records. Go to KendraCunningham.com for dates and check out her web series, I'm Not Buying It. And on Twitter, it's at The Other Kendra.
That's it for us. We'll see everybody again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!